What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, come on, you know I don't watch that shit.
Why not? Too scared?
No, it's just what's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
Hello! And welcome to episode 40-something. 3? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No,
I think I'm right.
Let's
43.
All right.
I'm sticking to it.
All right, let's just say it's 43. I think it's 44. How are you?
I'm great. I just got back on a jet plane today because I'm a goddamn jet setter.
And a model. An actual model. You looked like you were living a luxurious life.
It was wonderful. A much needed getaway.
Yep.
And
your hands made you some dala.
They sure did. They got me a free trip out of town.
It's very exciting.
And I wore a hotel room luxurious robe
For 48
nonstop.
hours. Love it. I feel like we have a lot of business for this episode.
Do we?
Yes. And then I also have some bad news for you.
What?
Do you want me to start with the bad news and then do the business?
I think so.
Okay. So I have some bad news about your ghost boyfriend.
Oh, no.
So we thought that, for those of you that don't remember, what episode did we talk about that? I don't remember, but it was that there's a ghost that lives in my kitchen.
Oh, in House of Wax.
In House of Wax. There's a ghost that lives in my
Take me
kitchen.
home
Yep.
tonight.
So, because both of us had that song put into our head in the same place, and we were like, there is literally no other explanation than there is an 80s ghost that lives in my kitchen that Kim is now betrothed to.
Right.
There's no other logical way that this could play out other than this.
Turned into only that.
Yeah. And like, I had a whole binder going for like the wedding and
His ghost family. I thought it was a done deal.
Yeah. So
I got off Tinder.
Well, here's what happened.
What?
I have this habit. Sometimes I fill in it at my old job in the office. I have this habit of getting Starbucks.
Right.
And then I leave the cup there, and I created this nice little pyramid of Starbucks cups that were at my desk.
Okay.
And one of my coworkers wanted me to take them home. So she wrote on the Post-it, "Take me home tonight." That cup then made it into the kitchen and was just like in our periphery, I guess. And so both of us subconsciously read that Post-it.
No.
And that's why we sang the song in the kitchen at the same place. Isn't that devastating?
What do I need to do to find love? Will I be alone forever?
Wear a corset on a daily basis.
Devastated by a Post-it note.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. Let's take a shot
I need a shot of whiskey now.
to mask our misery.
Cheers to being alone forever.
We'll find you another ghost. Don't worry. Cheers.
Ooh.
But isn't that crazy how our brains work?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
That we both read it, but like didn't compute that we were reading something.
Right.
Like,
and then it equated into a song.
into the same song for both of us. So, sorry. Ruins your day. So let's change the subject. What business do we have?
Okay. Well, now we'll do something fun.
Okay.
We're going to give away a mug.
Okay.
Mug of my tears. Full of my tears.
A mug of my tears. Here we go.
Okay. These
gonna
are
win our
all of
mug?
the people that have written us 5-star reviews. And the winner is Robot Funk.
Robot Funk? How
my
exciting.
gosh.
Yay. You win a
Wow.
mug.
Robot Funk. What's up?
How's it going?
Email us.
Yeah. If you want your mug, we're holding it hostage.
kksampodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and we'll send you a motherfucking mug full of Kim's tears.
Oh.
Do we have other biz?
We have a song to sing.
Okay. Who gets a song today?
The Ghostess.
That feels poignant based on the news you just got. Let's sing a funeral dirge. Ready? I don't know what a funeral dirge sounds like.
You start then.
I'll just make it sound kind of melancholy. You ready? Ghostess with the mostest. Thank you for your review. Ooh. That was my ghost
If you'd
noise.
like to introduce me to your brother, Ghostess. The ghost
Your
and
ghost bro?
ghostess. If you have a brother and he's available, I'm available. I'm just saying, whatever.
Thank you, Ghostess.
Thank you, the ghostess.
You're the mostest.
You are the mostest. You're the ghostess with the mostest.
Yeah.
You fucking named yourself that just so we would
You
say it,
for
didn't
sure
you?
did. For sure.
I'm sorry
did.
you didn't get like a upbeat ghostess with the mostest song.
But it was a melancholy, beautiful, ghosty, kind of haunting sort of tune. If you will.
tune.
It was a lovely tune. Is that all our business?
I think so.
I think that's all our business. I told you the bad news. We picked a mug. We sang a song. Great. Okay.
Oh no! Oh God!
Oh no! Kim spilled everything.
One of my 75 drinks spilled all over me.
It was bound to happen.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm all cleaned up.
Kim is ready to go. We got her sippy cup all fixed. She's ready to go. Okay. So I
Yes.
watched a Soups Creeps movie.
Yes.
From our friend Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan.
I loved it. I actually I had wanted to watch this one, and I didn't realize when I first came across it that it was a Mike Flanagan film. And I realized later that it's actually a prequel to a story that somebody else made that Mike was like, I'm gonna do a prequel to this, bitch.
Oh.
And it has lots of our dear friends because he kind of works with like the same cast over and over again.
yeah.
So it's like a ton of our friends from The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh.
And I'm like, how do I get on that roster?
Yeah. Mike Flanagan, we're available.
We're ready to be on your Rolodex of people you like working with. We're fun. So I watched.
Are you listening? James?
James? I actually almost texted James to be like, do you have a cameo in this one? Because I know that sometimes he...
I know. When you said our friends are in it, I was like, you mean James Flanagan?
No, I didn't. I looked everywhere for James in this one. I don't think he's in this one. But
James was our TA in acting one.
Yeah.
And his big brother is Mike Flanagan.
He-
and, who also went to Towson University.
Yeah, Towson University. What?
What's up?
So yeah, sometimes James will appear in stuff. James is one. He's such a good actor.
Yeah, he's so good.
He was so awesome. He was such a good TA.
Jimmy.
Anna and I loved fucking with him and just doing anything we could to make him uncomfortable. It was like our favorite game to play in the whole world. I remember we put like really inappropriate pictures and we like taped them into his Goodnight Moon book.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember those things that were like like they came out like Polaroids, but they were sticky and they were mini. So somebody had one of those.
How did you do that? That was cool.
Yeah, I like those. Somebody had one of those at a party at, I guess, obviously James's place.
Yeah.
And so Anna and I don't even know what we fucking did. We just like snuck into his room and like took like skanky boudoir pictures on his bed and then just like opened his book and stuck them in.
Doesn't know that. Like,
No,
it's
he
like,
does because because we were still his
like-
students at the time that we did it. So he was like, "This is inappropriate," and we were like, "No, it's not."
I wish that because who looks at Goodnight Moon that much? Maybe James.
I mean, it was on his nightstand.
But like, what if it just like was saved to like his
He's like
children?
listening and he opens it right now and he's like, "What?"
He like has a kid and he's like, "This is for you. It was mine when I was a kid, et cetera, et cetera." And they open it and they're like, "What?"
Well, here's the thing: is he is an uncle to Mike's kid. So I'm like, I really hope he didn't.
Don't give that! Please don't give that to Mike Flanagan.
Oh shit, that would be really fucking funny. I have to tell Anna about that again. I wonder if she remembers that. James was also the one who, when that guy Josh broke up with me, James was my rock, man.
Aw.
He really got me through that
He's a
breakup.
sweetie.
Thank you, James Flanagan. Anyway, back to Mike Flanagan.
Hashtag we're available.
Yep. We would like to be part of your roster, and you can call our people. And by our people, I mean ourselves. James has my number. Goodbye. Okay. So I watched Ouija, Origin of Evil.
So was this was made after Ouija? Okay, cool.
So did you know Ouija?
I was doing some, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I was doing some research the other day on something.
Okay.
Mostly casting directors, to be honest.
Sure.
And someone, I think, I was like an interview from one casting director to another, and one had cast Ouija too, and she was talking about that. And then I looked at the other ones, like IMDb, and she had cast actually the original Ouija, and I was like, interesting.
Is it?
No, I know. That's why I basically wanted to stop talking the second I started saying
and
this.
I wanted
but
to just let you keep going.
But then it was like, that was what we were talking about. So like, that's the depth of it. And I know about Ouija is who cast them.
You guys, one of my favorite games is to just get Kim, either accidentally or on purpose, into a situation where she feels just slightly uncomfortable and then just kind of watch her just wiggle about. It's my one of my favorite games in the whole world.
I didn't want to be talking that entire time.
I
so
know
I was
you
like,
did.
This isn't interesting.
And I was just like, I'm not going to cut
This
her
is so
off.
boring.
I'm not gonna interject. I'm
I know
just
who
going to let
cast
it go.
Ouija and Ouija too. That's what I know about Ouija.
Oh, my other favorite Kim game. This isn't going to translate super well. Maybe I'll have Kim film a video of it. So Kim does this thing where if she's thinking a conversation or thinking something in her brain, you can see it on her face. So there are times where I will just sit back and watch the Kim show where she's reading something or typing something, and she's having a full-blown conversation with herself in her head, but all of the expressions are at 100 on her face.
It just happened.
And it's just my favorite thing. I'll do an impression of it. You can film it and post it. It's just the best. Any fucking way.
So Ouija and Ouija 2 were made?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
We need a timeline.
Yeah. Well, I'll make Eric do it. Like when and how and when. So, are you ready?
I do love a Ouija board. Not anymore.
Not anymore. / I kind of want to do a Ouija seance.
No, I think I said this on the podcast before, but when I went out with a horror writer, he was doing a bunch of fucking research, and he was like, the one thing across the board that I think from the what's her faces, the Warrens.
Oh yeah.
Say like, from all of the hauntings that they've done their entire lives, like what's the one like constant, or like the one like thing that seems to be like the number one cause?
Yeah, it's
overall,
a Ouija board.
and it's Ouija board.
So you should totally, I don't know if our listeners listen to one of my favorite podcasts called The Dollop, but The Dollop does an entire episode on the history of Ouija. And what's so interesting is like, it is 100% creep factor for sure. And I think you told me that about the Warrens, that it's like, that's the common denominator. But when you listen to the history of it, you're like, how did these people like stumble upon this method of communication?
Yeah,
because
that
it's
is interesting.
Truly just like a board game that people were trying to like scam people with, basically. But it's got something to it. We covered that, like, even my dad, who's like totally whatever, is like, no Ouija boards in the house. Like, it's got like all this shit surrounding
Well, that's where I am now, and I'm totally into it all.
Yeah.
And like, no more.
Okay, now, well, you're going to be no more doubly after you hear this
I
one.
would love to hear more about the origins of it. So on our postmortem, could you do that? Thanks.
Yes, great. I will do the origins of the Ouija on our postmortem. Great. Okay, so here we go.
Besides what we learn in this movie, I guess, Ouija origin story.
No, here's what I will say. The origin of the Ouija board, not super covered in this.
Got it. Great.
So
That's
I
what
will do
wanna
that.
know.
I will do that. I will take care of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you. I'll do anything for you.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you.
You know that. Don't get weird. You know I do fucking anything for you. Okay. LA.
Ooh.
1967.
Ooh.
Can you see it? Can you see the cars? Can you see the clothes? Can you see the...
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Got it. I'm in.
So...
Bright lights, big city.
Yep. Except it's more suburban and dark lights because it's a seance, but
Oh, okay.
close. Got it. Okay. So it opens with the first line is, "Let's begin." And it's a seance. And it is our friend from The Haunting of Hill House, the chick who played the sister who is the mortician.
Love
That
her.
sister. She's great in this. Sitting at the table with a father and daughter, but like a older father and like a daughter like our age, not like a little kid. And then also, so it's three of them sitting at the table, and the sister from HOHH.
Haunting of Hill House.
Got it. Thank you. You are in my brain. Okay. So the old guy is really tearful and he wants to talk to his wife. The younger woman, who is Mike Flanagan's wife, who played Theo.
I love her.
She's in it. She's just got like a little cameo. Oh, fuck. I forgot to do Dead or Alive. Jesus Christ. Because we play this fucking game. Okay. Are you ready? So
ready.
Dead or Alive.
Actually, I wouldn't mind just skipping these always.
Well, I did you a favor. Guess how many Dead or Alives you have?
Not a lot.
Only 6.
Thank you.
Guess how many question points you have?
A lot.
22.
Great.
You're welcome. All right. So first Dead or Alive. Mom, who is the mortician sister in House on Haunted Hill. Is she dead or alive? In the movie that I'm watching,
okay.
the sister in House on Haunted Hill.
Alive.
Okay. Doris, who I also sometimes refer to as younger daughter, but I tried to autocorrect. Okay. Lena, who I also refer to as older daughter.
Alive.
Father E.T., who is Henry Thomas.
Wow, this really is just the cast of Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He really, truly has a Rolodex that we got to fucking insert
Get
our little
in.
card into. Father E.T.
Alive.
Dad, as in the husband to mom.
Dead.
Smooch boy.
Dead.
Okay. Here we go. So we already covered LA, 1967, blah, 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 blah. So
That's basically was a good description of this whole podcast so far.
pretty much. Yeah. All right. So the old guy wants to talk to his wife, who's dead. Obviously, it's a seance. You got that. The younger woman, who's Theo in a blonde wig, is super skeptical, and his daughter. Mm-hmm. She is basically like, Dad, don't give this woman your money. Like, she's like straight up bitchy, like to the seance lady's face. All of a sudden, the door creaks open, like the door to like a little curio cabinet. And the daughter is still skeptical, but also creeped. And mom says, Mary, if that's you, give us a sign. Blow out a candle. One of the candles in the middle of the table goes out. The old man starts crying. And she says, you get 3 questions. And he says, can you forgive me? Are you in pain? Now, the candle indicates by staying lit for yes and going out for no. That's how she told the spirit to communicate. Mm-hmm. And then mom says, okay, you get 1 more question. And Theo says something shitty. She's like, why just 1 more? Like, why is the spirit world limited to 3 questions?
I mean,
and I'm like, bitch.
I thought too.
I'm like, because they're busy. They don't have time to fucking answer your questions all goddamn day.
They're just hanging out.
They're
in between worlds.
Yeah, God.
What do they have to do? Answer my questions, bitch.
They're busy, Kim. I'm sorry. They have to invade kitchens
hanging
and
around
put songs
singing
in our
songs.
head. R.I.P. Kitchen Ghost. So they look over as he's about to ask his last question, and there is a shadow behind the curtain that is human-shaped. And the father asks the shadow, should my daughter marry this dude? Daughter being blonde lady. Uh-huh. And he's like, he says that he'll marry her, but he can only afford to marry her if I invest in this thing. Should I do it?
Red flag.
Yeah. Red, like fucking bright fire flag. And he's like, should I do it? He says it's a really great investment, but I don't know. Like, should I do it? And all of a sudden the candle goes out.
And that was a no?
And that was a no.
Okay.
And then they turn to the curtain and the phantom lunges from behind the curtain and screams. The old guy falls to the ground. Like, I'm like, that motherfucker had a heart attack. He's like holding his chest. I'm like, holy shit. And now skeptical blonde Theo is like, okay, this is weird. Like, I still don't, I don't know how you fucking did that, but like, I'm freaked out, but also you're a fraud. I can't prove it, but I know it kind of thing. So the seance lady apologizes because it was like super scary. Like she would like her ghost to be like more chill.
Right.
She felt like this one got a little out of hand. So she's walking them out and she doesn't charge them. Like she's like, you almost had a heart attack because a phantom lunged at you. I'm not going to charge you.
God.
And I'm like, that's not how you run a business, bitch. You deserve money for your services. So she comes back inside and she yells into the room where they were holding the seance. What the hell was that? Get out here. We see her daughters come out. One daughter was draped in black tulle behind the curtain, and she was the one who lunged from behind the curtain. And her other daughter is like shut up in the little curio cabinet, like all like teeny tiny and shut in, and she's the one who like made the door creak. And the older daughter, whose name is Lena, was like, his daughter was trying to steal his money. She was a bitch. She deserved it. And mom is like, it's not our job to judge people. It's our job to give them comfort. And the younger daughter, Doris, says, what's a scam? And as this is all happening, we kind of see the mechanics of how everything works.
Okay.
So basically, like the candles that are in the center of the table are hooked up to this thing where mom can move her leg to put one of them out.
Ooh.
And then in the curio cabinet, there's obviously a girl in there who's like manipulating things in the cabinet, and then the daughter behind the curtain. So Doris says, what's a scam? And mom says, it's a lie. But we don't lie. We help people. We give them peace and closure, but we have to do it with a little showmanship. So basically, she's fucking scamming people. But I really get the sense that the mom truly believes that she is doing the spirit work. Yeah. She doesn't come off as shady. She comes off as naive and scammy, but doesn't mean to be kind of thing. So the older daughter, Lena, says, well, you know what? If we're going to keep doing this, we better spice it up because your act is getting stale. And she's like, also, you totally judged her by blowing out the candle when he was talking about, should I invest? You fucking blew out the candle. So don't talk to me about not judging people. And I'm like, ooh, girl. So.
And how old are the daughters?
The younger daughter is toddler to 10. And the older daughter is 10 to 35. No, I would probably say Doris, the little girl, is like 10 probably. Okay. And Lena is like 15 or 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So fully functional humans, not like toddlers. She can trust them to help her with her act, both of them. So the mom finally admits, she's like, well, I mean, she was a bitch, but also don't pull that shit again. So now we cut to Doris, the younger daughter, who's asleep on the couch. Mom picks her up and takes her to her bed. And as she walks past, we see a family photo. And it's the three of them, but also a father figure who we realize is not in the picture anymore. Little Doris is praying at her bed with her mom sitting in there, and she's praying to her dad. And she asks her mom, why do they get to talk to their loved ones, but I don't get to talk to daddy? Daddy won't talk to me. And the mom has an answer that was just kind of like, you know, they only talk to people that need closure. Like she kind of, you know, passed it off a little bit, but definitely was pretty upset by the fact that also she can't talk to her husband. You can tell. So then she goes in to check on Lena, the older daughter, and she goes to open the door and it's shut. So she just knocks and she's like, good night. And we see Lena just turn and say, good night, mom. I'm already asleep. Good night. And so her mom walks away. Well, we see the reason she didn't open the door is because that bitch is sneaking out.
Ooh.
She's climbing out the damn window.
Lena.
And she's going to a party down the street.
My girl.
And she's going to start drinking.
What's that?
Pour me a drink.
Hashtag my life.
Right. So did you sneak out?
I was just going to ask you, did you ever sneak out a window?
Well, I couldn't have snuck out my windows for sure. They were too high up.
Or sneak out.
I was about to make an excuse like, oh, my dogs would have woken up. No, they wouldn't have. Ribbon would have never woken up. I was just too scared. I wouldn't have snuck out. Plus, I didn't really have a curfew. I there wasn't really anywhere that I couldn't go.
Yeah.
My parents didn't really, like, they knew that I was kind of a wuss. Like, they were like, you're fine. They were probably like, can you leave? Don't you like want to sneak out?
Did you want to like, is there like a boy maybe that was hanging out with you?
And I was like, nope, nobody. Anyone want to play Monopoly?
Like, go on a date maybe?
No, I went to a lot of sleepovers. I think I might have snuck out from friends' houses, but I never snuck out from the Porter house. You?
100%.
Why am I asking? Of course. What was your mode of sneaking out?
Well, when we moved to Maryland,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
where I
a
picture you sneaking out.
story.
So you could go out the window.
Well, at like the house. Once we got a house. Oh, the one you stayed at. Yeah. Because it's just like a 1-story thing.
Right.
So yeah, I could literally it was just like a turn handle window that was already human size. Like it was huge. So
But like, how did you know?
I would just take out the screen.
And so here was the part that like always churned my little teenage brain. Like, once you were out, the anxiety of have my parents gone into my room to see that I'm not there? How did you contend with that anxiety?
My parents were like asleep by then.
They were asleep. So you like there wasn't a scenario where like you were
they're
worried
not
that
really
they would
pop their head in to say goodnight, family.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah,
because I think that was part of it. Where like it's not like my parents were like checking on me in the room, but I was like, what if they did? I just feel like I wouldn't have enjoyed myself thinking about what if they're checking on me right now and I'm in trouble.
I didn't do it like all the time because also like I'm trying to think of like where I even went because
where would you have gone?
Like there needed to be cars there, so like I guess someone was picking me up. I don't really know.
Yeah,
I do not recall. I remember climbing in and out of that window, and I have no idea where I went next.
So interesting. Okay, so Lena's sneaking out, Kim Burns style, and we cut to back at the house, and the mom is sitting at the dining room table trying to pay bills, and it's clear by her expression there's not enough money. And I'm like, well, you need to stop giving complimentary seances to sad old men, and then maybe you could pay your fucking bills. And then we cut back to the party where Lena is, and they are all standing around drinking, and Lena sees that there's a Ouija board in the game cabinet. And the hostess says, let's play. And
Ooh.
Lena is kind of like, I do this for a living. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, she's the skeptic. But they're like, no, let's play. And so there's hostess, Lena, Smooch Boy, and Screaming Girl. You'll find out it's just 4 people. And we open up the box and there are rules in it. Did you know that there's only 3 rules to Ouija boards? I guess I've never gotten like an original.
Do tell.
Okay. These are going to be important.
All right. I'm excited.
Never play alone.
Oh.
Never play in a graveyard.
Ooh.
Always say goodbye.
I did know always say goodbye.
Always say goodbye. Okay.
Because whenever we'd freak out about the devil talking to us, we'd immediately go across the goodbye and turn the board over.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't know that there were rules. I didn't know any of these.
I didn't know the other 2.
So, but I was kind of bummed because one of my dreams just to like use a Ouija board in a graveyard. So
seems dangerous.
Yeah. Eric told me he would do it though with me. Will you do it? Will you come?
No, I don't want to be possessed.
Okay.
I don't want you to do it because then I'm going to have to exercise you.
That's true. All right. Well,
come on, work it out, girl.
You were going to do that. I knew you were going to do it. Work that devil out. Get him out of there. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Okay. So the one girl is scared as fuck. Like she's so fucking scared. But they all put their hands on the finder. I don't know what it's actually called, but I call it the finder from now on. And the board says yes.
What is that called?
I will find out.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Postmortem.
That's Hot Pockets.
Oh,
geez. Okay, so the board says yes to a spirit being there.
Ooh.
And it also says yes to the spirit being in the room.
Ooh.
And then they ask, what's it like on the other side? And it spells out COLD.
Oh.
And Lena tells them exactly how it works, which is, I've been told this before. Basically, it's the slightest micro movements of just like electrical pulses of hands being on it.
Yeah.
And then our brains and muscles sort of subconsciously follow whatever that micro movement was.
Yeah.
And that's what happens basically. But I'm still like, that in and of itself is creepy.
It kind of is.
That's also creepy.
It's kind of cool because like I really know for a fact that I've done it with people that are like not moving it. Like, because it's not fun. It's not fun if someone's moving it.
Yeah.
So we're all like not moving it.
Yeah.
And then it fucking moves.
I know.
So
we've got to get a KK Ouija board.
Okay.
Also, if somebody wants to make us, we have a request. We need someone to make us Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe, as the letters on the Ouija board, but it's a Ouija board.
I thought Eric made that already.
No, he was like, this is a mock-up of it, but he wants someone to like make it.
Well, we have a mock-up if someone wants
could just go ahead and do that. Yeah.
For a t-shirt.
Oh my, yes.
Or a Ouija board.
Or the Ouija board that you just made.
Doesn't work though.
We'll give you something. Money? No, we're not going to give you money.
Hey, this doesn't spell out a lot of words. A lot of K's.
A lot of K's, a lot of M's, a lot of K's. Okay. All right. So Lena tells him exactly how it works. And Smooch Boy says, okay, well, if it's just us talking to ourselves, then will Lena go to homecoming with me?
Aww.
And they pull it to yes. Aww. And I was like, that's cute. So now the scared girl is still like freaking out. Like she's like, who said yes? And they're like, you idiot. Like that's how. And Lena says, there is no spirit. Watch. And she's like, spirit, give us a sign if you're here. And then all of a sudden, door busts open. And it's the hostess's mom. And she's like, God damn it. But the screaming girl like doesn't catch up quickly enough. So she just screams forever. Like it does that thing that we love where like someone screams, but like it cuts off before they're done screaming. And she just like, she's had it. So the hostess mom clearly sent everybody home and called Lena's mom. So now Lena's mom is here to pick her up. And Doris is asleep in the back seat and the mom is pissed. And she's, because she clearly does this a lot. But rather than like punishing her or yelling, she's like, Lena, I need your help. I know that it's been hard on you since your dad died, but like, I need to be able to trust you. I need your help. I need you to stop doing this, which I just thought was like a really great parenting move for a second, instead of being like punitive and like, I want to restrict you. She's like, no, like we're a team. And when you do shit like this, it affects the team and I need your help. Like I like that parenting moment. So Lena is kind of feels bad, you can tell, but then she's like, you should get a Ouija board for the act. It would really help.
True.
So next day, mom wants all of them to eat breakfast together and Lena won't. She's like, nope, I'm gonna walk. I'm meeting a friend. I'm gonna walk. And she's like, no, just sit and eat. I'll drive you to school. And she's like, no, I gotta get there early, blah, blah, blah. And then we hear ding dong. And Lena's like, no, I'll get it. So mom goes to the door and it's Smooch Boy. Yeah.
Smooch Boy.
So Lena was clearly trying to make it so that her mom didn't get weird. Understandably so, because her mom got weird. And she's like, okay, we're going to go. And the mom's like, actually, could you walk with your sister? And she's like, fuck, you fucking cock block. So she says, go help your sister get ready upstairs. So the two little girls go upstairs. And she says, have you ever had a palm reading before?
Oh my gosh.
To Smooch
Mom!
Boy. So she sits down at the table with Smooch Boy. And she goes, how old are you? And he's like, I'm a senior. And she goes, you know Lena's a sophomore, right? And he was like, yeah, I am aware. And then she's like, okay, let me see your hand. And she's like, okay, here's your lifeline. Ooh, your lifeline is concerning. It's telling me that if this hand or any other touches my daughter, I'd hate to see what would happen to your lifeline.
Oh my God.
Mom, stop. And like as she's doing it, she's like pressing into his hand. And I'm like, you're a lot, Mom. You are a lot.
Oh God.
So now the girls are at school. The mom is at the drugstore buying more seance-y candles. And at the drugstore, she sees it's probably not a drugstore. It's probably like a, Ouija store, a seance store, a witch store.
My favorite kind of
and
store.
An apothecary. Sure. I know. I love those stores. And she sees a Ouija board. So now we're back at school. And mom is now waiting to pick the girls up from school. And she sees some little piece of shit motherfucking boys harassing Doris.
No.
And she gets out of the car to be like, hey, get the fuck away from my daughter. But she's beaten to the punch by Father something or other, who I just call Father E.T. because it's Henry Thomas.
Okay.
From E.T.
And he's a priest father?
So it's a Catholic school and he's a priest father.
Got it.
Yeah. A collared fellow.
Collared fellow.
Yes. And so mom thanks Father E.T. And she's like, I'm getting the sense that she's, how is she doing? And Father E.T. is like, she's been having trouble making friends since your husband died. It's for sure. And he's like, but don't worry, I'm looking out for her. Mom walks away to follow Doris to the car. And then we see this weird look between Father E.T. and Lena from across the yard.
Okay.
So now they're driving home. And Father Tom, that's his name, they decide to, or Doris is like, let's invite Father Tom over for a reading. And she's like, we can talk to his dead wife.
Dead wife?
Yeah. And Lena goes, priests don't have wives. And Doris says he had one before he became a priest, but she died. And I'm like, wow, that is that is taking mourning and grief to a whole new level. Like, I'm going to take the collar because my wife died. I hope Eric doesn't think I would do, like, I'm not becoming a nun if, God forbid, anything happens to him.
I think people take the collar because they love God so much, not because they're just like, I'm off the market.
Well,
incorrect. Okay.
Might be incorrect. So they're home now and they decide to open the box. What's in the box?
What?
Never not funny. Whoa. Never not funny. So they open the box, they're looking at it. And then the girls are upstairs doing their homework. And we see that the mom is zhuzhing it up a little bit. She's doing something to the finder. We're not really sure what she's doing.
Yeah, zhuzh.
She's zhuzhing. Then we realize that what she's doing is putting a magnet on the bottom of the finder and then putting giant magnets, folded into the pantyhose of her pantyhose of her legs. Putting magnets in there.
Wow, she is a profesh.
Yep. So, first question, Kim.
What?
Before testing it out, what should she do? It has to do with the rules.
The rules are she should get a partner, get a pal, phone a friend, because you shouldn't do it alone. And where's our bell?
One moment. I don't want to give away how many dings you got, but it's one. You got it.
There's only one question. Wow. That was a special ding. Ketrin missed the button.
Awkward. Okay, so yes, she
camp.
tests it alone. So as she's testing it, she is, asking it questions, but she is asking it to see if she's able to inconspicuously move the finder with her leg, but she's asking questions. So she asks, is there a presence here with us? Practices moving it with her knee. Cut to the girl's bedroom. Lena's sitting on the bed and Doris is sitting at a desk doing work. And we just see Doris get a look on her face where she stares straight ahead. When the mom asks a question in the dining room, Doris answers in the bedroom. Creeperson. So mom asks, what's your name?
What?
And Doris just says, Marcus.
No.
But Lena doesn't hear her mom asking questions.
Yes, so
she's just sitting in the room watching Doris
be
go,
like,
Marcus. Yeah.
Creepy.
So fucking creepy. And so Lena asks, who is she talking to? Mom says, "Spirit, can you hear me?" Doris says, "Yes, we can. And we can see you." Mom says, "Okay, that'll work." Lena then says to Doris, "What was that all about?" And Doris says, "What was what all about?"
Oh, gosh.
Kim.
Oh, gosh.
Kim.
What?
What do you do?
Who am I?
You are Lena. What do you do as Lena, and what does Lena do?
I would say that Lena does nothing.
Okay.
Because, like, I don't know. It's just her little sister being weird. Whatever. I mean, I would do nothing too because I'm Kim, but if I'm trying to stay alive, I'm going to tell my mom at least and see if somehow it pieces together. That would be exciting.
Yeah.
Woo!
I get what you're saying. Like, in all honesty, I would probably not. That's not true. If I would at least ask a fucking follow-up question. Like, I'm not Nicolas Cage here. Like, if she said something, so in Lena's experience, Doris, they're sitting in silence, and Doris goes, "Marcus, we can hear you and we can see you." Mm-hmm. And then I say, "What was that?" And she goes, "What?" I would go, "You just said words."
Well, yeah. What did they mean?
So I feel like, yeah, you might actually say something. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Like, this fucking weird thing happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And just
more is even like being like, yeah.
Because you would just be like, why are you being fucking weird? And then that in and of itself would at least
might drag out some things.
Yeah, it would at least lead Doris to go, "I said something and I don't know that I said something. That's strange." And now we are prompted to go have a conversation with our mom.
That is true. Actually, I would be like, "You fucking weirdo. You just said
exactly.
This.
That's
these exact things."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
You never miss an opportunity to call me a fucking weirdo.
This is true. I would call you out hard.
Yes. Okay.
All right. You know what?
See, that's how I help you, Kim.
And I'll say it again. My blanket days.
Your blanket days are
over.
They really are. You are just pulling the blanket off all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I really go straight to the root, the problem. I open it up, then the door I'm in.
Guys, this is where I just kind of let her keep talking to see you.
No, you go.
Okay, so Mom sits down later in the evening in front of the Ouija board. Alone again. I'm like, "Bitch, do you not read the rules?"
Read the rules.
And she just says, she kind of puts her hands on the finder sort of reluctantly. Like, you can tell she feels kind of silly. And she just says, "Roger, are you there?"
Like actually asking a little now. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing happens. So she kind of like scolds herself a little bit, thinks it's silly, and goes to bed, turns off the light. As she leaves, we see that the Ouija said no.
No.
So she asked Roger, "Are you there?"
And then
the
it
Ouija
said
said no.
So does she leave the finder like regular side up? Mm-hmm. See, that's another thing we'd always do. Like immediately turn it over. We immediately go to goodbye and turn it over.
Yeah. Well, now you're going to learn something about the finder that may have not been enough in that time. But I'll get to that.
Okay.
So the Ouija says no. Then Mom has gone upstairs. The light is off. The Ouija has moved to no. And then we see someone walking towards the board in the dark. It's Doris. She sits down at the board by herself.
Creepy kids.
And she says, "I'm here."
No.
And puts her hands on the finder. And she says, "Are you there?" The finder starts moving all over the fucking board. She doesn't even have her hand on it. It's just moving everywhere. And it spells Fred. And she just says, "Hi, Fred. Now what?" She picks up, it doesn't move. So she picks up the finder and she starts looking through it like a magnifying glass, looking around the room, trying to see what she can see. And then she turns to something and she stops and she just says, "Who are you?"
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who is it?
We don't know. Cuts to back in the daughter's room.
Oh, no.
So Lena's asleep. And she has the covers.
This is just another reason not to have kids.
Right?
They're creepy.
Because they're going to get haunted.
Creeps.
Survival guide. If you have kids, they will get haunted. Have children at your own risk. I mean, I think that covers it.
Blank.
Yeah. So back in Lena's, back in Lena's room, she's asleep. She has the covers pulled up over her. And then we see that the covers are slowly
that's one of my least favorite things in horror movies.
Pulled off.
I hate that.
Lena only wakes up a little bit. So you can tell she doesn't wake up.
Right.
She
She's
just
kind of like
yeah. And so she grabs the covers and pulls them back up.
Oh God, I hate that so much. Oh my God, I'm not going to sleep.
No, you're not. It gets worse. So then they start to be pulled again.
No.
And this time she crankily pulls them back. And she's like, cut it out, Doris.
So do they stay in the same room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, Rita looks over the bed. It wakes her up. She looks over the bed. No one's there. Just the covers on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
She pulls the covers back on and just goes back to sleep, terrified.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you, like, what would you do? But it's like we would both run screaming out of the room. Like, I feel like I already know that answer. So now we're back at school. And the mom is in her car and she's kind of like zhuzhing her hair a little bit. By the way, I kept wanting to use the word zhuzhing. I don't know why. I must have heard it recently. But I was like, God, I don't know how to spell zhuzhing.
Oh, yeah.
And Eric goes, Tzujing.
What?
And I was like, why in the fuck do you know how to spell that? And he goes, when I transcribe for RuPaul's Drag Race, they say zhuzhing all the time. And we have to type it the same way every time.
So wait, how is it spelled?
Tzujing. It's Yiddish. So it's
even if I
zhuzhing.
saw that, I would not say zhuzhing.
I know.
I would
Well,
just
now
be
you
like,
will.
Tzujing.
But I just love that I'm like to myself, how do you spell zhuzhing? Tzujing. Okay. So zhuzhing her hair in the car. And she is going to have a meeting with Father E.T. And so she goes into his rectory office.
Rectory, good job.
Oh, thank you. And Father E.T. says, have you been helping? There's an ice cream truck. He comes by every...
Creepy. Sounds like
Honk, 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 honk,
Terrifier.
Oh my God,
It's
it
actually
does.
a scene from Terrifier.
Oh,
honk,
shit.
Honk, honk, honk.
Yeah, Art the Clown sells ice cream on our block.
What if we go outside right now
And it's a fucking
there's
Art the Clown? Oh my
on the-
God.
on
That
a
would
fucking tricycle with ice cream.
That
I'd
would be
lose my mind.
terrifying. Who would you rather encounter? A fucking Ouija demon or Art the Clown?
Oh God. I don't know where Ouija demons are going yet, so I'll tell you at the end of this tale.
Great. So he says, have you been helping Doris with her homework? And she's kind of like, you know what? I haven't. I'm sorry. Should I be helping her more? I've just been so overwhelmed. And he goes, no. Opposite. She's clearly having somebody help her. And he hands her papers that are written in like perfect cursive. And he's like, somebody's teaching her cursive or somebody's writing it for her. Who is helping her? So now we cut to, yep.
Ouija demons.
Yep.
I mean,
Cursive
if Ouija
demon.
demon's gonna help me with my
Cursive?
studies.
Oh no, he only helps with cursive.
My testing.
He only helps with a dying form of written language that we no longer need to use.
Well, next time I have a cursive test,
Yeah,
I know who I'm calling.
I actually did I ever tell you that there are classrooms that I go into now, and like obviously I'm just writing like Mrs. Martin on the board. Super easy name to read. None of them know how to pronounce it. They all say Martine, Mrs. Martine, which is, I'm like, have you never seen them? And also half of them can't read cursive. So
Weird.
Martin, like they're like, what is that? Isn't that strange?
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's not like one school
How
or
do they
whatever.
sign their signatures?
Just in whatever their
Scribbles.
handwriting is. But they don't like cursive, just an emphasis isn't placed on cursive anymore.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
that
mean,
weird?
I kind of.
I mean, I get it logically.
I mean, I guess what do we use cursive for?
But I'm
really?
also like,
it's
there's
bizarre.
like even fonts on a computer
that are like
cursive.
scripty.
Like you should. Why would you not be able to recognize
How do
that?
you read the handwriting script?
Right.
Font.
Right. Exactly. So now they're in the car. So it's Lena, Doris, and Mom in the car. And they say, who is helping you? And Doris says, my new friend did. I let her use my hand. So Kim,
Creepy as fuck.
what do they do? And what do you do if your daughter, your haunted daughter, is telling you that her imaginary friend is allowing her hand to write in a way that she should not know how to write?
I investigate like a mofo.
Okay.
I follow up question hard.
Okay.
Because I'm like,
question.
what do you mean?
Right.
Can you show me? Tell me more.
Yep.
How is she using her hand? Who is she?
Lots of follow-up questions.
I was going to try to opposite Icholas age somehow.
I think that sells it. You are the
just-
opposite of Icholas age in this instance.
Yeah.
I get it.
Whatever that is, I'm opposite Icholas age.
Got it.
So nope, I'm going to stop. I can't do it.
So what did they do?
Okay. I mean, that's too weird to not. I think she follow-up questions too.
She does not follow up questions.
That's too weird.
She fucking went to the detective school of detectivery taught by Nicolas Cage and asked no follow-up questions.
That's too weird to just be like.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't have kids. Maybe they say weird shit all the time. I guess they do.
Actually, I do have a weird story. My cousin Nick, who you know, he got real cute. He is.
I think I do know him.
Yeah, I think you do too. I don't know how much younger he is than me. He's much younger than me. Because I remember him being born, but like I was like, maybe he's like 8 years younger than me. I'm not sure. Anyway, I remember that there was we were all together for Thanksgiving, and Nick was a little kid, like just around the time when he's like able to speak in full, clear sentences that any human can understand.
Right.
And he says something along the lines of, "Oh, that's right. That's my other mommy."
Creepy.
And everyone at the table, because it's not just like the four of them, it's like a Thanksgiving dinner.
Family, yeah.
And they're like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "My other mommy, the one who held me under the water."
What?
Yeah. How fucking terrifying is that?
What did people say?
I mean, they all just fucking put a blanket over it.
Right.
Because
It's too weird.
I feel like we were, so that's why I'm saying like, that is too weird. Maybe you just go, and my kid is talking about his other mommy who drowned him.
Right.
Like I'm going to blanket this for sure.
I'm like, I want to know more.
I do too. Like, I'd be like, what other mommy? What? Let's discuss. Tell me about your other mommy. Maybe they did, but like it didn't happen at the Thanksgiving table. That's for sure. So, okay.
She's Icholas aging.
Yes, she's Icholas aging, doesn't ask anything. Now we arrive at their house and they walk up to the door and there's a foreclosure sign on it.
No.
And they're pretty bummed. They're all sitting around the dinner table. And Doris says, "Will we have to move?" And Lena says, "Maybe." Mom then gets up and she goes out to the front porch and she's sitting on the front porch. And Doris says, "Dad won't like this. I should tell him."
Oh.
So she pulls out the fucking Ouija board. And Lena is just looking at her like, "You're too fucking weird. Like, what the fuck?" Mm-hmm. But then Lena comes out and she sits next to her mom on the porch. And she's crying. And she's like, "This sucks. I mean, this was your dad's house. This is where your dad wanted us to live." Mm. And as they're talking, we realize that they're both like, Doris doesn't really get it, does she? And Mom's like, "Yeah, I think she thinks he just left in some capacity." And you can tell that both of them have a sense that like he's nowhere. Like Doris has this idea that she can still communicate with him. That goes beyond little kids wanting to communicate with them. And it's clear that she doesn't really know what happened to him. And so Lena says, "I mean, it's better that than her knowing that a drunk driver hit him."
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Doris is now down in the basement while Lena and Mom are out on the porch. And she is pulling something out of the wall.
What? Oh my God.
And
I'm never having kids.
You're right. because they pull things out of walls.
They're too creepy.
They get haunted. They're super creepy.
They're too
they
creepy.
have other moms that drown them. Like, it's just, it's a fucking crap bag of terrifying to have kids. So she comes back upstairs and she comes out onto the porch and she hands Mom the bag that she pulled out of the wall.
A crap bag?
A crap bag. Except this crap bag is full of cash.
Whoa!
And I'm like, I'll take that crap bag. Give me that crap bag.
Having kids, change my mind.
Yep. They give you crap bags of cash.
Give me that money. Give me that money.
Yeah. So Mom is like, where did you find this? All of this money. So Doris takes them down to the basement where she found it. And she says, I had to pull loose a few rocks from the wall. Daddy told me where it was with the board. So Kim,
But yeah.
you just got a crap bag of cash.
Fuck yeah, I did.
But also, your daughter knew to pull stones out of the wall in the basement.
Correct.
And came out with a bag of cash.
Right.
What do you do and what do they do?
I take that cash and I go on vacation.
Hey!
I think that fuck, god damn it. Okay. I take the money. I mean, that's everyone takes the money. We all take the money.
Okay.
That's a given because we got to pay our
foreclosure bill.
bills.
Yeah.
We pay our bills for sure, and we
Okay.
keep the house. Numero uno. This is interesting
Isn't it?
because this is one where I might be okay just putting on just being like, you know what? I got the money. I don't need to know any other details.
Okay. I'm going to challenge you to really think about that.
I know. Let's I'm just kidding. I'm going to need to do follow-up questions again. I'm
Okay.
going to need to be like, this makes no sense.
Okay.
That you would ever in anyone's wildest dreams know to pull these specific bricks out
Right.
to get a bag of cash.
Right.
That's insanity.
Right.
You're a creepy
Kid.
So I really need to know why more. And especially when she's like, the board told me, like, how did the board tell you? What are you talking about?
Right.
Tell me more.
Got it. What do they do?
Spend that money. I think, fuck. This always trips me up where I'm like, are they getting on board yet? Mm-hmm. Or
On board, I get it. Heyo!
Oh, I was like, I don't get it.
I'll see myself out.
Okay.
It's fine. They're getting on Ouija board.
Got it. Cool.
Because it's a board.
Anyway.
That was me bringing the podcast to a screeching halt.
So they are going to anyway. They're going to okay. I'm going to say that this one's bizarre. This is a physical action that was taken. Mm-hmm. That is fucking bizarro land.
Okay.
So I think that they're also going to follow up question.
Okay. 1.5.
Okay.
So I gave you a full point. I almost wanted to give you like 3/4 of a point just because I feel like what would keep you alive is also to look in the hole that she pulled it out of. Mm-hmm. Like, rather than just asking more questions, like, why is my daughter able to pull things out of a false wall?
Investigating.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I give you a full point. I'm sure that it would come to
I'm
that.
investigating.
They kind of ask follow-up questions, which is why I gave you a 0.5 point, because it now cuts to the three of them sitting at the board.
Okay. So they are trying to be like,
With
what
Doris.
do you mean? Board?
Yeah. Now they use the fucking money because I'm like, money is
Oh
money,
my God,
bitch. And it's cash, so it's like
wasn't even-
untraceable.
that wasn't part of the question.
Exactly.
That's a given.
Obviously, we're using the cash. What do ghosts need cash for? They don't use cash currency.
They got ghost banks.
They have ghost banks. Yeah, and they use ghost ducats. Okay, so the three of them are sitting at the board with Doris. They're nervous and weirded out, and Doris is leading the charge. And she says, Daddy, we found the money. Thank you. And then she says, it's kind of hard to hear him sometimes, like a car radio in the tunnel. Daddy, are you here? And the board says, yes.
Are there hands on the finger?
Nope.
No. Okay.
And Lena is freaked out at this point. Whether she's freaked out by believing in the Ouija board or freaked out by the fact that her sister is a fucking creep, it's unclear.
Right.
I think she mostly thinks her sister is having a creeping breakdown,
right?
For sure. So the mom now says, okay, Roger, if this is you, where were you when I told you that I was pregnant with Lena? And the board spells something out, and it's the correct answer.
Oh, shit.
So clearly, Lena isn't born yet. Therefore, Doris isn't born yet. It's just the two of them in the house at the time that she would have said this. The only people that would know the answer
is the two of them. What's the question we would ask each other to know? What's
to know
the
if
things
it,
that we would
like
only
to know if it was you?
Yeah.
What would I ask you?
Something that only we know for each other.
Well, now it won't be because we're going to say it on the podcast.
Crap bag.
So, crap bag of cash. I would ask you, wow, this is tough. Let's think about it and come back to it.
Okay.
Because I know that there is something,
yeah,
but I can't think of it right now.
We now have 2 follow-up questions for the end of this podcast.
Fuck. Okay. What's the other follow-up question? I forgot it already.
Art the Clown or
Ouija
Ouija Demon.
So you remember our follow-up questions. Okay. So they're all freaked out. And, oh, I'm sorry. This is where Doris takes her hands off the finder because at this point she says, Daddy doesn't really need me. And the finder starts going all over the place.
Okay.
Now Mama and Lena like jump up from the table. Like they're like, this is fucked. Like now the finder is moving on its fucking own. Mm-hmm. Like what the fuck is going on? So Doris picks up the finder and she looks through it again. And Mom is like, what are you doing, creep-tastic? And she says, well, sometimes I can see them through this.
No.
I haven't seen Daddy yet, though. Mom bends down and talks to the board and says, are you really here? And the finder moves to yes. The young daughter is just smiling up at Mom. And Lena is like, get me the fuck out of here. Where's my blanket? I'm putting it over myself and running out away. So now it's nighttime. And Lena is watching Doris sleep. Mm-hmm. Like, Lena's like, this ain't right.
This kid is
here
creepy
for this. Crap bags of cash or not, I'm creeped. So Lena is now trying to convince Mom that she's manipulating it. And Mom is like, now we could really help people. And talk to Daddy. Like we can really do what we said we were doing now because we can actually get answers for people. And this is where we learn that the girl's grandmother, Mom's mom, was a fortune teller. And Mom thought it was a crap bag. She thought it was nonsense because she could never do it herself, but clearly her grandmother believed in it.
So it runs in the family.
And now she says, she's like, it clearly skips a generation. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm going to take this money to the bank in the AM, this ghost money. It cashes the same as corporeal money. Mm-hmm. So Mom goes to bed. Lena is still awake at the board. And she's terrified of it, but she picks up the finder and she looks through it herself. Now it's unclear.
Who's doing this, Lena?
Lena.
Okay.
Does she see something? We don't know, but something scares her. But it's unclear as to whether or not she quickly puts the finder down and is scared because of like the anticipation of seeing something or because she actually saw something.
Okay.
It's unclear. So the next day, Lena is walking with Smooch Boy and they're at school. And he's like, were you really serious about homecoming? Uh-huh. And she's like, if you were serious. And he's like, I was serious. And cute. She's like, okay, so like, do you want to go?
Oh my God, cute.
And he's like, I mean, yeah.
That was like the conversation that I had with my ghost boyfriend in your kitchen. And then you murdered him.
I'm sorry I didn't do it. That's like the conversation that I had never in high school. So they're about to smooch. He's about to get his namesake of Smooch Boy. But then all of a sudden, there's Father E.T. And they're at a Catholic school. So he's like, leave room for the Holy Ghost. And I'm like, Holy Ghost schmost. Get out of here, Ghost. I don't need to leave room for you. But he pulls Lena into the office. And he says, you know, boys his age require discouragement. And he's like, but I do want to talk to you about your sister. She's been absent for 4 days, and your mom usually, you know, sends a note when she's sick. And Lena says, she's not sick. And she's like, my mom and Doris have been working.
Oh.
And so now we cut to mom and Doris at home, and they're running seances.
Yeah.
The finder is moving on its own for people. And there's a woman sitting with them, and she says, is my husband proud of me? And it moves to yes. Doris turns to the woman, and in a man's voice, she just says, always. And the mom is like, what the fuck? Like, she can't be as surprised as she like wants to be, because she's like, no, I totally knew that was going to happen, you know, because this was a seance and we're talking to your husband, but what the fuck also?
Oh, God.
So Doris
also
just,
child labor much?
right?
What's that?
Hello,
Mom.
And so then the voice comes out of Doris, and then Doris just looks at them both and giggles and is like, that tickled. And I'm like, creepy kid.
Yes, you're so creepy.
So then she stops giggling, and then she goes, ow. And she holds the back of her neck.
What?
And now we cut to outside. The mom is walking the lady out that was just at the seance. And the lady says, can I come back tomorrow? And the mom's like, sure. Because she's, you know, her eyeballs are dollar signs now. Like, she's like, I'm making that money. I'm pulling money out of walls. I'm pulling money out of this lady.
Crap bags of money.
Crap bags of money. And so now it's nighttime in the girls' room. And Doris suddenly wakes up, like sits bolt upright and holds her neck. Like she's in serious pain. And she goes into Lena's room, and she's like,
wait, I thought they shared a room.
Goes over to Lena's bed.
Okay.
Like she just is like, wakes up Lena. And Lena is like, just gives her like some ibuprofen or like Advil or whatever. And Doris says, it's like a bee sting.
Oh, baby.
And Doris is still clearly in pain. Lena's fallen back to sleep. And so Doris goes down to the board.
No.
Don't do it, Doris. And she says, what happened to my neck?
Oh, baby.
Nothing.
Sweet, creepy baby.
Sweet, creepy baby. Nothing. Daddy, it hurts.
Oh.
Nothing. So she picks up the finder.
No.
And she starts looking around the room.
Oh, God.
And she's in the chair looking around, and her neck really hurts now.
Oh.
So she gets up out of the chair, and she starts walking away from the board with the finder, looking around. And she looks, this is not a question, and I'll give you a bonus point if you get it. Where's the creepiest motherfucking place she could look?
The basement.
It's not a new room. She looks
in the cabinet. The what'd you call it?
No, I called it a curio cabinet.
Curio cabinet.
No, she looks in a mirror.
Oh, creepy.
With the fucking finder. So she looks in the mirror, and so she's looking at herself, and demon! So she sees a
behind her
black demon standing behind her, when all of a sudden the demon grabs her by the mouth, and we see what the demon is doing in the mirror, but what it looks like to us, not in the mirror, is just her mouth being pulled so wide open, like too big mouth, and her eyes are white. So do you remember in House on Haunted Hill when like Nell's mouth like dropped in that super scary scene in the apartment? It's like wide mouth, terrifying demon mouth. That's what's happening. So I call it too wide mouth. And then she's like tipped backwards like the Matrix, like Exorcist style. And her mouth is just like, creepy. And something is entering through her mouth. But we can't tell what it is, because like we can't see anything unless we're looking in the mirror. Like it just looks like she's tipped over, and it's
I don't
really
want
upsetting.
a possessed child.
You have one now.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
want one.
I am sorry. You have a possessed child. So then the
Rude.
entity sort of lightly places her to the ground, and she's asleep, passed out, something.
Okay.
Now we're back upstairs with Mom and Lena asleep, and we hear, then we see that Doris is at her ear, at Lena's ear, creepily whispering into it with white eyes, holding her face. And all of a sudden, Lena wakes up. No one's there.
Oh, God.
So she goes into the bathroom to get some water. She had it was just a creepy dream, Kim. It was just a creepy
crying.
dream.
Oh,
it's
God.
fine. It's just a creepy dream. She's looking in the mirror in the bathroom, and oh gosh, the shower's behind me and the curtain's closed.
No.
I feel like I hear something in there. What is
Ignore
it?
it and go back to bed. Ignore it and go back to bed.
Except I can't ignore it because what's happening to my mouth? My mouth is getting sewn up. What? And all of a sudden we see in the mirror that her mouth is getting sewn up and it's just skin now across. She has no mouth and she's just screaming. And then she wakes up.
Oh, God.
Kim, it's fine. It was just a dream. Like, seriously, can you calm down? It's just a fucking dream, okay?
I hate dream within dreams.
So, it's the next day. We're at school on the playground with Doris.
I'm
There's
stressed.
kids running about, running all over, being kids. Doris's idea of fun is just to stand perfectly still in the middle of the playground, staring straight forward.
So creepy.
She's so creep. You have a haunted kid. Now those little motherfuckers that were harassing her
Right.
are just watching her being a creep. And I'm like, I mean, you're not wrong at this point. I mean, she looks like a creep. You're not wrong. And they're like, what a freak. So one of the boys pulls out a slingshot, to which at the time that I was writing this, Eric and I were watching it. I couldn't think of the word slingshot at first. And then I thought of it and he goes, oh. And I was like, what? And he was like, I was really hoping you wouldn't be able to think of it and you'd have to describe what that was to Kim.
Because I know the word for it.
Yeah. I was like, oh. So then he's holding the slingshot like ready to fire. But before he can fire, she looks to him really fast. And his own hands start to turn the slingshot towards himself. And he can't stop. And his friend is like, dude, what are you doing? And we hear him going, what? I can't stop. I can't stop. And now the camera's on Doris again. And we just hear, and he's like, ah! The motherfucker shot his own fucking eye out. But all we see is Doris just kind of turned back to like, okay, mission accomplished. And all the kids on the playground being like, ah! And like running over to see the kid who shot himself in the face.
Oh, my gosh.
Creepy haunted kid. Now we're home again with creepy Doris and Lena. And they're sitting on the couch at home. And Mom is getting all gussied up. She's going out. And she's like, make sure Doris goes to bed at a reasonable time. Don't stay home and watch TV all night. Blah, blah, blah.
Is she going on a date?
She's going on a date.
Ooh,
So she arrives at the restaurant and there's her date.
Ooh.
It's Father E.T.
What?
Yeah, it's Father E.T.
He's married to God.
And I wrote, can priests date? So I was like, maybe, no, priests can't date. No, they can't.
They're married to God.
Right. Yeah. So he says, I wanted to discuss the girls over romantic wine and a candlelit dinner. And so now we cut back to home and the girls are still on the couch and the doorbell rings. And so picture the camera is where the TV is.
Okay.
Okay. And the door is behind the couch.
Got it.
And Lena gets up to go to the door.
Right.
So in focus is Doris.
Got it.
And Lena and the door and Smooch Boy, who comes in, are kind of like not quite in focus behind her.
Right.
And we see that Doris does in fact see Smooch Boy, but not because she turned her head. She just kind of looks out the side of her eye, looks that way, but you can tell that she can see, quote unquote, somehow, but just sits perfectly still. Oh, P.S. The movie they're watching is the black and white Lizzie Borden movie. And I was like, this does not bode well at all. So creepy kids. So Lena's like, I have some records upstairs. And he's like, I'd love to hear them. And so they're like, bye. And then she like pokes her head back in and she's like, if you tell mom, I will melt all of your dolls into a big mass of plastic sludge.
Amazing.
And Doris is just kind of like, I'm creepy. I don't care about my dolls anymore. So now we're back
She's
at dinner.
like, I got new friends to
She's
talk
like,
to.
yeah, that you can't melt because they're demon ghosts.
Yes.
So now we're back at dinner and they're talking and Father E.T. is like being straight with her. He's like, the spirit world's dangerous. And mom is like, no, it's not. Let me show you and help you talk to your wife. And they start talking nicely about their deceased spouses.
Right.
So they clearly have something in common. And then there is definitely a moment where I transcribed the moment and the transcription of the moment is, shit, you're hot and I'm a priest now. Oops. And they clink glasses and they both are like, maybe in another life. So
he can leave the priesthood. Goodbye.
He basically says that like he's like, maybe I did this a little too soon.
My like favorite priest from school ended up leaving the priesthood. He was like the cool priest. He had like a motorcycle and like smoked cigars. And he was like the one that he took.
Was he hot?
I didn't find like maybe me today would think he was hot, but like
not then.
And yeah, he was just like father whoever. But he was like the cool priest. And like he ended up leaving, getting married, and like having a family.
Interesting. Yeah, my grandfather, my grandpa, that he was going to be a priest, and then he met his first wife, who was terrible.
Right.
But thank God, because if he hadn't met Stella,
he wouldn't
have met Grandma.
Right.
I needed a grandpa, so thanks. So now we're up in Lena's room with Smooch Boy, and he says, "I love your house. It's beautiful. Your house has great bones." And I was like, shut the fuck up.
It's just got a little je ne sais quoi
loser. And then he realized, like, I'm sorry, my dad's an architect and my childhood was him like taking me around to look at houses.
That's cute.
You know? But I'm still like, you're a pretentious fuck. Work on that line. And he's like, I'm glad you're not moving. And they're sitting on the bed next to each other and they look like they're about to kiss. But Lena says, my mom is going to be home soon. And he's like, I thought she wasn't going to be home for an hour. And she's like, I just don't want to take any chances. Like, it seems like she's like,
yeah, she's not like quite ready.
Yeah. And she also was like, I did say I was going to help my mom by like you know, she cares about her mom. She's not like trying to be a dick, you know, but they smooch anyway.
Smooch.
And then he says, good night. Cute. And she lays down on the bed and she's just like glowing. Like, you remember that feeling of like the first kiss of somebody and you're just like, I am just the highest I could possibly be, and like you can't get the smile off your face even if you tried. That's what she's doing
with my ghost boyfriend.
With
I remember it.
I remember
it very clearly.
I'm so sorry.
Take me home tonight.
I think we should do our first seance with the Ouija board in the kitchen to see if maybe your ghost boyfriend is still there. So now he's walking downstairs and he says to Doris, later, kiddo. Like he says it to the couch. Nope. She's behind him.
No. Creepy kid.
And she says, do you want to hear something cool?
No.
And he says, sure. And she goes, do you want to know exactly what it feels like to be strangled to death?
No. What the fuck, you creepy monster kid?
And he's freaked. And like, I'm going to like find the transcript of it for a postmortem. I was actually too scared to write it down. Like, to write it down, I would have had to have rewound it and listened to it several times. And the imagery of it was so upsetting to me and so anatomically correct and detailed that I was like, I'm not in a place where I am ready to do this right now.
Was Mike Flanagan the writer of this too?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. I mean, it's definitely a Mike Flanagan film, so I'm not sure what that means. But it was like,
you freak,
anatomically terrifying. Somebody did research on this, and he's freaked out, and she just smiles after describing it to him for about 20 minutes. Is how long it felt, and then she just goes,
so scared.
"Good night, Romeo."
You fucking creepy monster.
I know.
I don't want any creepy kids in my house.
So she goes back to the TV.
I'm too scared.
And sits on the couch, creepily smiling, watching a movie about a girl who murdered her entire family. Kim, question 5.
What?
As Boyf,
Oh, God.
what do you do and what does he do?
Get the fuck out of there.
Okay. That's him or you?
I think both of us. Yeah. Get the fuck out of there. That's what I do.
I'm giving you 1 point for him. That is what he does.
Uh-huh.
I think you need to follow up question this. Like, I would be like, I'm telling Lena what she just said, because I feel like a lot of this
Like
is people
right now in this moment.
maybe honestly
Go back upstairs
like go back
and tell
upstairs
on
and be
her.
like, oh, you know what, I forgot something, and like be like, your sister just said something really creepy to me. Because to me, a child of that age who knows in great detail what it feels like and what it's like to be strangled to death, I'm concerned about abuse. I'm concerned about
Bitch, I'm
homicidal
trying to stay
tendencies.
alive. I'm gonna get the fuck out of
But I
there.
think
I
that
could tell her later at a different point, but
Maybe.
I'm not gonna stay there.
Okay,
with her.
I think that I'm yeah. I'm still only giving you 1 point. I think this is an emergency, and nobody's treating it like an emergency yet. Is what I'm
I
feeling.
am treating it like an emergency, and I'm getting away from it.
All right. So
I
now,
think I win.
nope.
You're a monster.
I am the point monster. I am the one who decides the points.
I hate you.
I'm sorry. So now Lena's in her nightie, and she comes downstairs looking for Doris, who's not in her bed. And she comes down and she finds Doris on the ground with papers sprawled out all around her. And she's writing very quickly, not looking at the paper, looking up, sort of to the side and up above her, and just writing and
God.
scribbling.
I hate her.
Yeah. So scribbling dozens of papers sprawled around her. What does Lena do, and what do you do?
Why?
I'm sorry. You have a creepy kid.
I hate her.
Kim's like, I throw out a window. I bury her in the walls.
I bury my sister alive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
That's just going to make
then she
more
would just
ghosts.
haunt me.
Yeah, it's just going to make
then
more ghosts.
Yeah, that's not. No.
We need less ghosts, not more ghosts.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay. Oh God. Okay. Okay. We're alone. Still.
Yes. Mom's still out with Father E.T.
Okay. I'm going to ask her what the fuck she's doing
Okay.
and find out more there. And then
Okay.
I'm going to call my mom
Got it.
and tell her she needs to get home
Okay.
because my sister daughter
My sister daughter.
is a
It's a whole other level to the movie we just added.
is a creepy lunatic.
Right.
Something's going on. She may need to be hospitalized.
Correct.
I'm not sure.
Correct. Okay. And what does she do?
She. What are you looking at? She. Okay. She definitely is like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Okay.
I feel like she's like, gets after it a little bit. Yeah.
No follow-up questions. She goes
Jesus
back to
Christ.
sleep.
What are you talking about? She goes back to sleep.
I am with you. I'm like, this is
What are you talking
emergency.
about?
So she goes back up to bed. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you a half a point, and you'll find out why later
Okay.
in a little bit.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I took pity on you. So now she goes back upstairs, and I'm just reading my notes. I was clearly just as upset as you were just then, because I just wrote, she walks away, like in all caps with lots of exclamation points and question marks. So she goes into the bedroom, and on her bed is her doll. And she
Lena's
looks,
doll.
Lena's doll.
Okay.
And she looks at the doll, and she picks it up. The mouth of the doll
Is sewn shut?
sewn shut.
No.
So she marches up to Doris at this point and says, why did you do this? And she says, Daddy did it. Daddy did it to stop the voices. And then Mom comes into the room. And basically Lena at this point is like, she's fucking weird, Mom. Like, what the fuck? She's like, you're both fucking fucked. Like, what is happening? This is weird. And like Lena is getting frustrated.
Right.
Like she's getting angry rather than scared because she sees this as all stemming from like this scam that her mom has been playing, and Doris
teaching Doris.
Yeah, now thinking that she can talk to spirits and that she can do fucking creepy shit or whatever the fuck. So Mom follows Lena into another room, and Mom is like, I don't know why you're being like this. Like, she's experiencing something amazing. And Lena's like, she's not. She's saying platitudes like you used to, that you taught me to say. She's saying things like, you know, your loved one is happy on the other side. Like, she's not actually giving any information. It's all just platitudes, and you taught her this. And Mom's like, no, she knows things. I asked her specifics. How do you explain that? Like the, you know, where I was when. And she's like, she's knowing things that only Daddy knew. How do you explain that? And Lena's like, I can't. But God damn it, something like this is fucked. And Mom's like, something is happening here. And then Lena says, but it's changing Doris. If it really was Dad, why would he want to change her?
Ooh.
Yeah. And I was like,
Mic
that's a
drop.
really, really good point. She dropped all the mics. Like they're just all over the. It's raining mics. I'll see myself out. Oh no, you can come with me. Great. I'm seeing myself out and you're coming with me.
I didn't really want to. I felt pressured.
Okay. So next morning, Doris is creepily sitting at the table staring ahead. And their Mom and Lena are like getting ready for school and whatever. And then Doris just starts going, I don't want to. And they're like, what is your fucking problem, bitch? And she's like, I want to stay here and talk to my friends. So Mom looks at Lena and she's like, go upstairs and pack up your sister's stuff. Being like, I'm going to talk to your sister. So she sees, when Lena goes upstairs, she sees something under the bed that scares her. What does she find that we've seen before under the bed? What does she do with what she finds under the bed? And what do you do? 3 points available here.
It's a challenging 3-point question because if I don't get the first part of it right, then I can't get any other part of it.
That's correct.
You're a bitch. That's correct. Okay.
I did give you a clue, though. Something is under her bed that we have seen before, but not examined closely.
There's many an answer to that. We've seen lots of things.
I hope you picked the right one.
It could be the Ouija board. It could be the sewn shut doll.
Could be all those things.
It could be the papers with whatever the fuck she wrote on them.
Could be.
It could be the crap bag of money, but like that.
It could be all of these things. You can only choose one. What creepy fucking thing is under her fucking bed?
Okay. It could also be. I'm just trying to think of all the things we've talked about. It could be.
Okay, because I love you so much, you've said it.
Okay. It's one of those. Nice.
Yeah. God, I love you so much.
Okay.
You really, God, you're such a cheater. With your little puppy dog eyes. You get me to do whatever you want. Dumb bitch.
Ow. That's a lot of
a lot of feelings that just came at you.
I need to unpack that at some point. Okay. It's gonna be all right. I'm gonna take out the papers because that's no.
Okay.
Okay. It's under whose bed?
Doris's bed.
Okay. Lena's going upstairs to pack up Doris's things, and she finds this under her bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like peeking out.
Peeking out?
Mm-hmm.
Like with eyeballs? Like A doll's eyeballs?
Kim, I'm not just going to give you the goddamn answer. I've already given you too much.
Okay. I'm going to go with crap bag of money. Crap bag of money.
Okay.
Final answer.
And what do you do with that crap bag of money?
Oh, I thought I was going to find out first so I could answer the follow-up questions, you
Bitch, no.
monster. There's no point in me answering the questions. So I don't know if this is right or not.
There is, because the thing is like, even if it's not the thing that you want, what you choose
what
to
I would
do with
I
that
could
thing,
do with all
you
of them.
could get a point
I would probably
for
do
that.
the same thing with all of them
Yeah.
anyway. Okay. I'm going to pull out the crap bag.
Okay.
What is that from?
Myself. I think that's just us.
But isn't that something?
I don't know.
It reminds me of.
It's really flowing off my tongue, though. Like, I'm only going to call my purse a crap bag from now on.
Or it reminds me of the thing that you had me write to
Covered in batshit?
Yes. My match.com date. Like
that, the best thing I've ever written.
Years ago.
Yeah. That was, so Kim had this, while you're thinking, I'll say real quick.
Okay.
She was dating this boy on Match.com, and he turned out to just be like really unstable, but it was a bummer because like he seemed like a really cool dude, but he kind of ghosted you, I remember, and then came back and was just like, I'm sorry, I got involved with like this batshit crazy chick, and like I guess we're getting back together, but not really, and like I'm just not here for it. Like I'm just a mess. And Kim was like, what do I say to this? What do I do? And so I said, write this. It was something along the lines of, it was really great getting to know you. Maybe our paths will cross again someday. I'll look for the guy covered in batshit. That
No,
might
we
be
thought
what,
it was the best
it
thing
was
ever.
the we're probably drunk.
Yeah, probably for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah, 100% drunk. What
is
am I
crap
saying?
bag in Friends though? Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe we made it up. Maybe it's us.
Let's just say
it's our
us.
thing.
Stop stalling, bitch.
Okay, I'm gonna take the bag of crap,
Yep.
the crap bag, and I'm gonna confront. I'm gonna bring it downstairs and be like, "Why the fuck was this under Doris's bed? How did she get it? What is it? What's going on? Mom, look at this."
Okay.
I think she does the same, hand in hand.
Half a point.
You're a monster.
I'll tell you why. So what she actually finds under the bed are all those papers she was scribbling.
Damn! It was the fucking thing.
It was
I crossed
the papers.
out.
Yeah. And so what she does is she gathers them all up. And her mom has proven to be not helpful. So she takes them to Father E.T. Now, you got a half a point because like pulling blankets off things is always going to keep you more alive than not confronting things. So you got a
Right.
half a point because like the mom
Fine.
and Doris are probably going to say something like, it's a miracle, I'm communicating, blah, 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 blah. But it'll at least like get things out in the open, not hidden under beds.
Right.
But what she does is she takes all of the papers to Father E.T.
That's smart.
And
she's a stupid bitch. I hate her.
No, I think you're the stupid one. And she's the
Fuck you.
smart one. So then,
God damn it.
she's like, does anyone here speak Polish? And Father
who?
E.T. to Father E.T. And Father E.T. is like, why? And she's like, I found these at my house. I think they're in Polish. And Father E.T. is like, Sister Hannah, I think, like, came from Poland when she was a little girl. She might speak some Polish still. And Lena's like, I saw Doris write these.
Whoa.
So Lena hands the papers to Father E.T. Lena goes to leave, and Father E.T. says, what are these? And she goes, hopefully nothing, Father, and leaves. So now, cut to the father shows up at the house, and he says to Mom, actually, I would like that reading. So he comes and he sits down at the table with Mom, Lena, and Doris. And Doris is watching through the back of her head again on the couch. Not literally through the back of her head, but like it's that same shot where like she's listening and watching but hasn't turned around from facing the TV. So now they're all sitting at the table. And
Wait, Doris is at the couch? Or
Doris is at the couch. Now we've cut to a new, because Father, he came in. Now we've cut to a new scene, and now they're all sitting at the table ready for the reading. And Doris says, Gloria, that's your wife? And she says, Gloria, are you there? And the finder starts moving all over. And Doris says, she's a little hard to hear. And then the finder spells out, I miss you. And Father E.T. says, I miss you too, my love. Just so I know it's you, what's my middle name? And the finder spells out, Lynn.
Oh.
And he goes, Lynn, yes. Board then spells out, I forgive you.
Ooh.
And he says, for what? And the board spells, fight. And he says, yes, of course. What was the fight about? And the board says, not important. Then the board starts spelling something else out, and it spells, don't hide behind the collar. Want you to be. And then Doris turns to Father and in an older woman's voice says, happy. And Father E.T. stays super chill and he says, thank you so much, Doris. It's so wonderful to be able to speak to my wife. And he says, but that's not the only reason I'm here. Lena's in trouble. Aren't you, Lena? And Mom's like, what? And Lena's like, what? Yes, I did something, Mom. I'm sorry. And Father says, is there somewhere where we can go privately to talk about this? Because she's in big trouble.
Ooh, smart.
Doris sits at the table and says, I want to come. And he says, hey, Doris, how old are you now? And she says, 9. And he says, wow, you're almost a lady. I have some pretty important stuff to talk to your mom about. Your sister's in trouble. Do you think you can hold down the fort here?
Smart.
And she says, yes. And he says, thank you so much for letting me talk to my wife. And then they head upstairs. Doris goes back to watching TV. She goes back into the living room, watching TV. And Mom's confused. And they're upstairs in the girl's bedroom. And she says, where did she write them? Like referring to the papers that Father has brought. Because obviously Lena's not in trouble. He was trying to, yeah. And Father E.T. says, my mother's middle name was Lynn. Not mine. Not my wife's. And he says, I tricked the spirit. And Mom's like, so what the fuck? You came all the way here to tell me that my daughter's a fraud? And Father E.T. says, I don't think your daughter's a fraud. See, I thought the word Lynn. I thought it as hard as I could. And the board said Lynn. And Lena picks up on it and says, yeah, because when we ask a question, we ourselves think of what the answer is. What the answer is. And so she says, well, how do you explain about the fight? And he says, well, I cleared my mind when I said the fight. What was the fight was about. And she said not important and changed the subject. And then she says, okay, well, explain the fucking voice that came out of her.
Right. And
he says, I mean, it was a non-specific female voice. It was certainly jarring to hear an adult woman's voice come out of your daughter's mouth, but I can't say that was definitely Gloria's voice. I'm not saying your daughter is a fraud. I'm just saying she's not channeling my wife. Mm-hmm. Cut back downstairs.
Oh, God. Fuck.
Thanks to Lula. That was great.
The cat just jumped on the couch right next to me. It's terrifying.
So on the couch.
But she's still like reading your mind then.
Right. That's why he's saying like, I'm not saying your daughter's a fraud. I'm just saying it's not these benevolent spirits of my wife or people's spouses that are coming through your daughter. Okay. I'm saying there is an entity in her.
Something.
And that is not being truthful is basically. Mm-hmm. So now we cut down to Doris and it's too wide mouth. She's just sitting on the couch.
No.
With whispers coming out of her and her eyes white. And then all of a sudden the doorbell interrupts, closes her mouth, super chill, gets up to answer the door. It's Smooch Boy.
Oh no.
And she says, they're not here, but they'll be back any minute. You can just wait here.
No.
And she says, do you want to see something neat?
No.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I don't. You're weird. I don't. And he's like, I guess she's like, really? They're going to be back like any second. And she's like,
I don't trust you.
do you want to see the treasure in the walls?
No.
And he says, I did hear about that. And she says, come on, I'll show you. And he like kind of hesitates. And she's like, they're going to be back any second. So Kim, does he go and do you go?
Absolutely, I do not go
Okay.
with this creepy monster kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he goes.
Double ding.
Oh no, Smooch Boy. This doesn't bode well for you.
So he goes back upstairs. We're with Father E.T. And he says, Sister Hannah does read Polish. And it is Polish.
What does it say? What does it say?
She was really upset. It's a journal from a dude named Marcus.
Marcus.
Remember, Marcus
Right.
is who, yeah,
Wait, Marcus is who?
is who, when she was testing
she
out
was
with the
like,
magnets,
right.
she says, who is the
this?
spirit?
Marcus.
And yeah, she says Marcus. But the only person who has a frame of reference for the name Marcus is Lena,
Lena.
not mom.
Right.
And so he says Marcus is a man whose family was rounded up by the Germans during World War II.
Oh shit.
This is interspliced with Down in the Basement with Smooch Boy and Doris and Father E.T. telling us what the journal said. So we're
Okay.
going back and forth, okay?
Got it.
So down in the basement, Doris is saying, I found it in here. And Smooch Boy is walking up to the hole in the wall. Voiceover, the journal talks about a doctor at the camps. And they called him the Devil's Doctor. He was really into the occult and experiments. Kind of sounds like Dr. Mengele, who's an actual terrifying doctor. Do you not know about Dr. Mengele? I'll do that in a postmortem too, but I need to prepare myself and have much whiskey before even researching
I
it.
don't know that I want to know that.
Oh, God. Dr.
I'm okay
Mengele.
having a blanket over that.
Okay. So after the war, Marcus was freed and he fled to the U.S., as did a lot of Jews in the camps. They came to the U.S. He lived on the streets for a time and ended up in a mental hospital. In the mental hospital, he recognized one of the doctors. It was the Devil's Doctor under a different name. The Devil's Doctor checked him out of the asylum and brought him home and continued experiments
Fuck you.
in his basement.
You fucking monster.
The journal describes the house.
No.
It's this one.
No.
Yeah. So, meanwhile,
Oh no. Oh no.
Doris-
Oh no. No, if we just didn't have the crap bag of money, we
Yep.
would have moved. Fuck.
so now Doris tells Smooch Boy, there's got to be more in the walls.
No.
What does he do?
Reaches in the wall.
And what do you do?
He reaches in the wall. I
Really put yourself, I mean, yeah.
I'm not down there.
You're not down.
I
Like,
haven't
I ran away.
Remember when I ran away the first time?
Yeah.
I never saw her again.
Somehow you're back.
I don't like the creep that she is.
Right.
And I'm going to be like, but I'm a little scared of her and I don't want to make her angry either.
I get it.
So
This is a predicament you've gotten yourself into.
I'm just going to be like, what year are we in?
1967.
Oh, we're in 1967.
Mm-hmm. Remember back in the beginning when I said LA, 1967. That whole thing.
I do, but so often that's like
Have you been in modern times this whole time?
100%.
Oh, and it's not modern.
But usually when that happens, it's like for a scene, and then it
Right.
goes back to modern. But
You've
that's
just
why
been in
this
modern
is
times
the
all the time?
origins.
Yeah.
yeah. I bet.
No.
I bet the other movies are modern
But
times.
this is 1960 motherfucking 7, bitch.
Okay, that ruins my idea.
I'm going to get a drone that I control with my cell phone.
But I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's so like I'm gonna like placate her.
Okay.
Is that the word I'm using correctly? Just be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Wow, that's awesome. I'm not going to reach my hand in. I'm not going to touch it.
Okay.
I'm going to like talk about how cool it is.
Okay.
and then be like, oh shit, I forgot that I need to call my mom. I like, you know what I
need
mean?
to
Like,
not be here.
I need to figure out a way to like make an excuse to get upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that your excuses are going to be flimsy,
For sure.
but your instinct to not reach your hand in the wall is correct.
Right.
So whatever you are doing to not reach your hand in the wall is closer to not being dead,
Right,
for
right,
sure.
right, yeah.
So I'm giving you that point.
Or like pretend I hear a noise upstairs and be like, oh my gosh, that must be Lena.
Right.
Lena!
Lena! How you doing, girl?
Lena! What's up? Homecoming.
So
get away from me, you creep.
So he reaches his hand in the wall, obviously.
My instinct was to bash the child's head against the wall and run away, but I didn't want to actually do that.
I don't think you'd be wrong there.
I
mean, you'd be arrested and go to jail, but
Yeah,
as you'll see later, it might be better.
I felt bad because I was like, I mean, it's not like her. It's like she's being possessed.
Right.
So it's like,
Well, let's see what happens.
All right.
So, Smooch Boy does reach in, and he pulls out
What?
an old-timey doctor's bag.
no.
Different kind of crap bag. And he opens it up, and there's a bunch of old-timey IDs inside.
Oh.
Now we're listening to Father E.T. upstairs, and he said it wasn't just Marcus that he brought back there.
Of course not.
He brought lots and lots of them back
Of course
here.
he did, because he's a fucking monster.
Yes.
I feel like this story is something I've heard before. So this
Maybe.
must be.
Well, I mean,
if it
Dr.
is a real
Mangala is
doctor.
a real
So there must be
person.
some other horror movie that has a storyline along these lines.
One of the things that they believe is Dr. Mangala escaped to Brazil because there's a tiny little, he was obsessed with twins, and there's a town in Brazil where it's like fucking like 80% twins.
Twin
and they
C.
believe that he went there and continued his experiments and either produced more twins or went
Right.
there because they had a higher instance of twins.
I've definitely heard that.
I mean, Devil's Doctor is definitely 100% based on Dr. Mangala, like for sure. So there's another great podcast, Last Podcast on the Left, that does like a 3-part story of Dr. Mangala. And it's not something you can listen to in long bouts. It requires pausing and
No,
going
thank
and, you know, smelling flowers
sensitive.
or, yeah, don't listen to this.
I'm too sensitive.
But then also everyone else listen to it. It's fascinating.
I like fake stories.
Yeah. No, this is very real. So the Devil's Doctor, back in the basement, we learned that the Devil's Doctor cut out all of their tongues, severed their vocal cords,
Fuck you.
and sealed their mouths shut. So that when he had parties upstairs,
I hate you.
his guests wouldn't hear
Fuck you.
the screams.
Fuck you.
Now we're back downstairs, and Creepy Doris says, so much more could be in the walls that could help my family.
What? Like
So
what?
More crap bags of cash, maybe?
Look, we've already found 2 crap bags.
Yeah.
We don't need any more crap
She
bags.
wants all the crap bags. And so Smooch Boy keeps reaching in.
Why?
Now behind him,
Is he like freaked out or like weirded out, or he's just like
he's very
interested?
weirded. He's very weirded. But I also think like
Intrigued.
And there is a hole in the wall
With
out of
crap
which
bags
with crap
inside.
bags inside.
Yeah.
So it's like there probably is a sense of
Interesting.
what the fuck is
Yeah,
in here.
yeah.
But he's creeped. He's not
Okay.
a crazy person. He's creeped.
Okay.
But he's definitely letting his curiosity get the best of him.
Right.
So the camera is on it as if we are inside the hole. So we're like looking at his face
Reach
and
in.
she's behind him.
Right. Oh,
And
no.
we just see and her neck is just cracking and moving in like creepy ways and her eyes are white. And I wrote behind him, we see neck crack demon face of Creepy Doris.
Okay.
Upstairs, Father E.T. is saying that the journal goes past Marcus's death.
What?
Past his murder. There is more talk after he has died. He talks about the other voices of the victims in death. He talks about how cold it is and that every one of the victims is there and insane. And there's other non-human entities in there with him as well that are taking him over. And he talks about feeling so cold. Downstairs, as Father E.T. is talking, creepy neck crack Doris says, "Your dad was right." Then a skull
Bones.
falls out. Bones. "This house has good bones." Fast flash next to him, grabs his face. His eyes go white. Demon whisper. Stop! Back upstairs. And Mom is like, no. This is bullshit. She knew things that only Roger and I knew. And Lena says, yeah.
She knew things that the house knew things.
She knew things that happened in the house. They were watching. And so Mom goes, okay, let's move. And Father E.T. goes, you have a haunted kid. Surrey. Wherever you go and Doris goes, you just, like, the demon's coming with you. Sorry. And so then Lena goes, wait a minute. Stop talking. They're watching us and they can hear us. Stop talking.
Oh, shit.
So the three of them go downstairs and they're like, Doris? No, Doris. Then they hear a thump above them and pitter patter and a crash and something is happening upstairs just from where they came from. What? All of a sudden, Smooch Boy falls from the ceiling, hung by a noose.
What?
Lena loses her mind. She's screaming. Father E.T. is in shock, just like staring at this body hanging from the ceiling. Mom rushes to Lena and says, calm down. We have to find your sister. We must find your sister.
What about this fucking kid?
I think she went into mama bear mode where she's like, people are dying now. I can't worry about dead Smooch Boy.
Do we not want to like lift him up and
That's exactly what I said. I was like,
fuck, maybe
I was like, why do we know
live?
that he's dead for sure right away?
Is your immediate reaction not like lift him?
That's
so
what
he's not
I
choking?
said. I was like, but maybe I don't know. I'm not a mom. Maybe I don't know. So she
Nor
does not
do I
lift
ever
him.
want to be one because creepy kids.
Because creepy kids. So all of a sudden they stop and they hear classical music coming from the basement. They head back downstairs and they say
Downstairs. They head downstairs.
to the basement.
Okay.
They've decided that they're going to burn the Ouija board and the furnace is downstairs.
Have they found Doris yet?
No, but they're like,
Okay.
clearly some shit is happening. We've got to burn
Seems okay.
that
Whatever.
board. Yeah. So they go downstairs and they light a match. And as they light a match, they see the skull. And that's where they realize that there are bones in... Well, they also went down to the basement because they heard classical music. So they're like, Doris is probably down here.
Right.
So as they see all the bones inside, because they've lit the match and now can see inside the hole where all those things were, Lena turns to Mom. What rule does she realize they just broke?
Graveyard. Graveyard.
Ding. So she realizes they've broken a second rule. So they're burning the board. And then they hear, Mommy, help.
Oh no.
It's coming from behind the wall. And there's a grate underneath. Mm-hmm. So the father says, I'm going to go in alone. No. Lena is a total Sammy because she goes, going by yourself seems like a bad idea. Don't you think we should stay together? Yeah. And father is like, if I find her, I'll bring her out.
He's like, I am a collared fellow.
I'm a collared fellow.
I will be protected by the Holy Ghost.
Hopefully. So as he crawls in, the music is getting louder and louder and louder. He comes into a completely other room with a phonograph playing. And the phonograph is playing an old-timey semi-opera. And I'm reading the subtitles underneath. Mm-hmm. And the last line is, goodbye, little girl. I was down.
Is that the thing you showed me?
Yeah. I'll post what I showed Kim. It's a very serialized inside joke at this point that our Sammys will know, so I'll post it.
It's from when I powered down during House of Wax for What's in the Box.
Yeah.
What?
So he's standing in a creep room, and it's all old-timey doctor tools. Doris comes out of the shadows, and she's kind of standing in the shadows. Like, we can tell it's Doris, but we can't get a good look at her. And she says, that's where he died. And Father E.T. starts saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And she says, oh, he can't see this house. If God could see this house, we wouldn't still be here.
What?
Now, multiple voices are coming out of Doris's mouth
shit.
as she says this. And she's standing in the shadows. And Father E.T. says, I'm sorry this happened to you. Come with me. I can help you. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of... And she scream flies to him with her mouth wide and her eyes white and black. Back out in the other room, the other basement room with the girls. They hear someone crawling back out through the grate. Here comes Father crawling out. He's crouched over and they say, Father, where is she? Still hunched over, he says, she's part of the walls now. He stands and he's white eyes holding a knife. And he starts chasing after them and says, she told me the most wonderful things. What? He chases them up the stairs. Lena runs straight to the front door and tries to get out. It's locked from the outside. She's locked inside the house. Mom is somehow trapped in a closet at the top of the stairs, like with him holding a knife, white eyes. And then all of a sudden his eyes go normal. And he shuts her in the closet, presumably to like protect her. And he takes a breath when all of a sudden, creepy wide-mouthed Doris on the ceiling.
What?
No, on the ceiling? Yeah. Crawling on the ceiling? Crawling on the ceiling towards him with fucking wide mouth and white eyes. And he's like, fuck! And falls down the stairs and dies.
What?
Yeah.
Father E.T.?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He fucking pulled a Kim, saw a ceiling crawl, fall down the stairs, and died. He was like, fuck this. Goodbye.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I mean, for all I know, he literally just swan dove down the stairs.
He's like,
it's like, no,
I'm out.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
you know what?
I mean, goodbye. So now
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Hand in hand.
Yep. Swan diving down the stairs. So
Peace
breaks
out.
his neck immediately, blood spurting, and he's just like, goodbye. So now
goodbye.
Mom and Lena come together. Okay. And they hear giggling.
No. Fuck, I hate this so much.
The board is no longer in the furnace. It's unscathed, back on the table, set up.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Lena says, what do we do? Kim, what do we do?
Oh, no.
And I'll give you a clue. There isn't a what do they do because something happens to them where we don't get the answer to what they would do. So I'm just asking, what would you do?
Oh.
Just what would you do?
You mean
swan dive down the stairs?
I was like, didn't I just say that I would swan dive down the stairs? That's not. Oh, is that not how I stay alive?
Right.
Okay. What do we do? Okay. I'm with my mom.
Yep.
Doris is gone. Did we see Doris on the ceiling?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Where are we?
We're up on the first floor, like on the, entrance exit floor to the home.
Like the living room.
Right.
floor.
Yes. Thank you. Not the bedroom place, not the basement place.
Got it.
The exit enter place.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
You're
and
welcome.
making it very clear as to exactly where we are. What do we do? Okay. Look.
Yes.
Look.
Uh-huh.
I'm going... Oh, fuck. You know what?
What?
No. You
What?
know what?
What?
No. I'm going to get the fuck out of this house.
How are you going to get out, bitch? The door's locked.
Fuck the door.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Who the fuck you think
Let's hear
I am?
it. Kim's like, I climbed out plenty of windows.
Exactly, and that's my plan. Once again, I'm going to throw a chair or something through a window and get the fuck out of this fucking monster house.
Love it. So,
Okay.
I don't know how the fuck that's going to keep Doris alive, but it's sure as shit going to keep you alive.
Exactly. Fuck Doris.
Yeah. Fuck Doris.
That was my, you know what? No. Because originally I was like, well, I need to save my sister. And then I was like, you know
Fuck
what? No.
Fuck Doris.
I need to save myself. Fuck you, Doris.
That's going to be the title of this episode. The tale of Fuck Doris. Okay. So Before
You're a crap bag, Doris.
You're a crap bag, Doris. Before they can decide what to do, an invisible entity grabs mom and pulls her back into the dining room.
Oh, God.
And then hung smooch boy bungees to Lena and throws her up the stairs. And then is dead again.
Oh my God.
So he was just puppet bungee smooch boy.
I'm so upset.
So now Lena is like unconscious at the top of the stairs. Mom is unconscious at the bottom of the stairs, but like, you know, in sort of a corner around the room, like not immediately visible at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
But guess who's standing at the bottom of the stairs?
Fucking creepy crap bag Doris.
Creepy crap bag Doris. Where they're fucking...
I just had a brain aneurysm. I'm so stressed.
Yeah.
So
with her
stressed.
fucking wide mouth at the bottom of the stairs. And then all of a sudden
I don't even want to look up pictures of this to post on Instagram.
Oh, bitch.
I'm so
it's going to be
scared.
great. So creepy crap bag wide mouth Doris fucking fast crawls up the wall to Lena.
No!
Did you know that you also hated wall crawls? Because you do.
They're the same as ceiling crawls. I don't like them.
They're bad. So she... And before we can see what creepy crap bag Doris did to Lena, we're back with mom, who's now like kind of coming to, getting back up off the floor. And she looks upstairs.
Wait, okay. Mom wakes up and
and she looks upstairs and she sees Doris holding unconscious Lena in her lap.
Get away from her, you monster.
With like her legs wrapped around her and holding her head, and she's just going and mom says, stop, talk.
I'm not gonna get sleep tonight. I'm just gonna hear this whisper in my ears.
So then she says, stop, talk to me. Okay. I'm a vessel. I can help you. And she just goes, she's a better vessel. And she says, what do you want from her? Voice. And she says, take mine. You can cut it all. You can cut it out for all I care. Just take me. Then all of a sudden, Smooch Boy falls from the ceiling, no longer noosed. And Doris is poof, gone. No, she's not. She's behind her. We'll take all of you. Grabs her head, pulls her back, black. So now something is dragging mom down the stairs. Mom wakes up and it's scary Doris smile over her face.
Fuck you, creepy crap
Doris. Someone picks Lena up. We're back upstairs. Someone picks Lena up and softly puts her into bed. It's Dad.
No.
She wakes up, but he's gone.
Dad.
Then she sees the doll with the mouth sewn shut. And she relives the fight she had with Doris, where Doris says, Daddy did it. She then sees her dad on the foot of the bed holding the doll. She figured something out. Kim? What does she do and what do you do?
What did she figure out? Okay.
If you get what she figures out, great. But what I will tell you is not knowing what she figured out
isn't important.
It is important, but it won't necessarily mean that you don't get this answer right in particular. There's like a multi-level answer to
the
what's
question
happening.
Is, what does she do?
The question is, can I swan dive down the stairs? Yeah. So what does she do next? So like dad's kind of poofed away again.
Okay.
Yeah. And
the doll is gone?
And the doll is gone and her mom has been dragged downstairs. And Lena is now like untethered to Doris and is like, I got to figure this out.
Wait, I don't know. Okay.
Even if you haven't figured it out, you can just tell me what you would do.
I know, but I really want to figure it out.
Okay.
It's okay. Because Daddy sewed it shut. Daddy's good. Is he good? Are we not sure? Daddy sewed it shut. But also the doctor was doing that, which was not good. And maybe the whole time she thought that Daddy was turns out not Daddy because it was the doctor.
Ooh, now you're getting dark.
So
it's so dark in here.
It's so cold. So cold. Oh God. Because, okay, so I still don't know where that leads.
You sound like you're trapped 47 meters down right now.
I'm uncomfortable. There's too much ceiling and wall crawling. I mean, okay, how do I get out of this situation? What if... Wait, the question is, what does she do?
Yeah. Kim's like, where am I? Who am I?
I thought maybe
What's
I
happening?
could answer what I would do. Okay.
No, there is a what would you do as well. It's what would you do and what would she do?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what would you do, honey?
I'm going to jump out the window.
Okay.
But like in a stay alive way.
No, I get it. No, not a swan dive down the stairs way. Yeah. No, I get
I'm not going to head first jump
Yeah.
out. Like I'm
Yeah,
going to
I get it. You're going to like.
I'm sneaking out the window.
Got it,
Like
got
I'm
it.
sneaking out
Yes. Okay.
to save my life.
And what does she do?
She
What does Lena
doesn't do that. She goes downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like something about giving voice or taking voice away, but like how and why and how and when and where and what do I do?
And
so maybe who?
I'm just playing with you.
Oh, okay. I guess uses the Ouija to communicate.
1 point for jumping out the window. Okay. She goes downstairs to the basement.
Okay.
In the basement with mom. Mom is tied up, like shackled to the bed. You know, like it's like a
To the bed?
Yeah, it's like because we're like in a creepy doctor place. So he's got like a.
So wait, we're in the other room of the basement now?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So she goes down to the basement and crawls through the hole.
Yeah, and drags her mom through it.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So now they're in like the creepy like experiment doctor place.
And her mom is unconscious?
Yeah, and she's being shackled to a table by Doris. And Doris...
Wait. You just said she drags her mom through.
Remember her mom was we just saw the mom being dragged somewhere?
Yeah.
Now we know where the mom was being dragged. The mom was being dragged into the devil's doctor experiment room. And she's now being shackled to like an old-timey doctor's table, but is being secured to the bed.
Okay.
Okay.
And Lena goes there.
Yeah. Lena goes down, but we see what's happening before Lena gets down there.
Okay.
Yeah. And so mom is kind of coming to on the inspection table. That's not what I mean. Examination table. It's an old timey examination table. I couldn't think of the word. Doris picks up a knife and mom says, I just wanted you to be able to talk to daddy. And Doris says, he's gone. He's in the dark. And he screams and screams and screams and screams and screams and thwack! No, he doesn't. Lena fucking smacks Doris in the head with some fucking
you,
shit
creepy
down there.
crap bag Doris.
Creepy crap bag Doris. So then Lena hits her with some shit and she looks at the examination table and she picks up this cobwebby old needle. It's like those rounded needles that you would use to like give someone stitches to sew up a mouth. And Doris is wide mouth screaming and pushing her back with the energy that's coming out of her mouth. So she's pushing her back. And Lena gets to her and pushes her down to the ground and starts sewing
her
up
mouth shut?
her mouth.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden the mirror demons are behind Lena and pulling Lena back. And Lena's trying to struggle to not get pulled off of her and continuing to sew up Doris's mouth. They're trying to pull her away and she finishes and silence. Then we see Daddy standing next to the table and Doris standing next to him and Doris standing next to him and says, Daddy. And she takes his hand. Smash cut to Mom still chained to the table. She rips her hand out of the cuff. And I was like, oh, I hope she's not a hand model. Doris is on the floor again. Mouth sewn shut, dead. And Mom says, Doris. Mom looks at her face and sees that it's all sewn shut. And we see Lena in the corner, just crouched in like the fetal position. And we see Lena stand up, but the camera's like on Mom and Doris. We just see Lena stand up in the background. And she says, I had to stop. I had to stop the voices. Lena kneels down next to her mom, touches her shoulder, turns to her. White eyes! Stab! 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 Her eyes unwhite, and she realizes what she just did. As her mom is dying, her mom says, "It wasn't you." And then she dies. Now we see Mom, and we see Doris, and we see Daddy standing over her shoulder. Lena cries. She's all alone. Black. Smash cut to Lena in a mental hospital. And the doctor says, "Where did you go just now?"
No.
And Lena says, "What were we talking about?" Doctor says, "Where to find your sister's body." Of course. My mother would know." "No, your mother is dead because you..." "Right, of course. You've been here 2 months, Lena, and nothing." "Well, all you need to know about my mother is that she never wanted us to be alone. After my dad died, that's all she ever wanted. And now we won't be." Cut to Lena being wheeled back to her room. She's locked into her room, and she pulls this board out from under her bed, just like a cardboard thing. She bites her finger, and she draws the letters of a Ouija board in blood on the cardboard. Then she takes a pair of spectacles that she stole, and she pops one of the lenses out, and she holds it in her hand, and her hand's in a triangle, like the finder of the Ouija board, and says, "Doris, are you there?" Cut to the doctor walking down the hall past all of the rooms, checking off, making sure all of his patients aren't, writing poems and poop on the walls. And he's making notes, and he walks by Lena's room and then stops after he walks past it, because he realizes out of the corner of his eye it wasn't just Lena in that room. There was somebody else in there with her. So he turns back to Lena's room, and Lena's right at the window, staring at him. Then we see behind him, here comes creepy crapbag Doris calling on the ceiling, and black. The end. Goodbye.
I'm so upset.
All right.
I'm so upset.
You compose yourself. I'm going to count your points.
Okay. Oh, God.
Hey, guys. This is Kat.
And Kim.
And we just want to let you know about our brand new Patreon we just launched. You can find us at www.kimandkatstayalive.com.
And you'll also find merch on there. Check out our merch store and follow us on social media at kksampodcast. We love you. Bye.
You want to see how many points creepy crapbag Doris gave you?
Oh, yes, please.
She gave you 18 out of 28 points. Not bad.
Not bad.
You got half of your dead or lives.
That's good.
And you got 15 out of 22 on the questions, so that's pretty good.
I didn't feel super confident on the questions, but
I think they put a blanket over a lot of stuff that you wouldn't have put a blanket over.
Yeah, that's okay.
But it's 1967. People were muffling a lot of shit.
True.
Dude, it was so good.
That was really good. Okay, 3 follow-up questions. I have 3.
All right.
The first one was Art the Clown or Ouija Demon. I'm gonna go with Art the Clown.
I'm gonna go with Art the Clown too. He's a
terrifying monster, but I feel like I can get away from him.
Yeah, you can stab, fight, decapitate Art the Clown. I don't know what the fuck creepy crapbag Doris is dealing with.
I don't know that I can get away from Ouija Demon.
I agree.
Which is why I don't want to play Ouija in a graveyard with you, you fucking monster.
Damn it!
How did you even propose that question after watching this movie? You proposed that question to me at the beginning of this episode when you had already seen this movie. What the fuck is wrong with you monster?
I think it's because
Are you already a crapbag right now? Are you a crapbag?
Stop it. I think one is that I don't find graveyards creepy. I love them. I find peace in them, so they don't hold the same thing. It's to me.
It's breaking the rules. I don't care about the graveyard.
I hear you. It just seems so
I don't even want to play Ouija.
Wait, you're not going to do even Ouija with me?
I don't want to.
What if we don't do it in a graveyard, we don't do it alone, and we say goodbye? They broke 2 out of the 3. They broke all 3 rules. At no point did I ever tell you that they said goodbye. They broke 3 rules.
I'll consider it.
Okay. What was the other follow-up question?
What would the thing we would say to each other to figure out if it was us?
I know what it would be. And I feel okay saying this because now we'll just have to come up with another one. Now we can't use this one. But like if we didn't have this podcast, I know what I would ask. What? It would be, what was our code word to find out if the other one was too drunk?
That was my instinct too. That was my first instinct, but we've already shared that anyway.
Right.
Bagels and cream cheese.
Yeah, that's true.
We shared that on the podcast.
No. That's why I was saying if we didn't have this podcast.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And it was like just something that you and I had, I feel like it's not something you could easily guess because it doesn't even quite make sense.
I agree.
What is the thing you say to each other to make sure that the other one isn't too drunk to drive
and the answer is
home?
Bagels and cream cheese.
That doesn't make any sense. So that's why I'm saying like now we're going to have to come up with another one that we can't say on the podcast because then.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That was good. That was my instinct question as well.
Oh my God.
We would have asked the same one.
We should actually just come up with, this is the thing
to be prepared
that we ask
just in case,
and
especially if we're going to Ouija, we need to be prepared for one of us to fucking become a demon,
become a crap bag demon. But I think we could it wouldn't even have to be like an answer to a question. It could just be we come up with a phrase that means nothing to anybody, like it means nothing. It's random. It's
like
nothing.
A random phrase. Okay, third follow-up question.
Yeah.
When you played Ouija, was there any like creepy things when you've ever played, or like what's the most interesting or creepy thing?
I feel like I was playing with, I never felt creeped, and that always bummed me out because I feel like I was playing with like a lot of girls at a slumber party.
Right.
And somebody I could always say, fucking Aaron Murphy is probably moving that shit. Like it was never with people that I trust to not be fucking around. But yeah, we played at Vicky Culbertson's house and I was like, I remember being like very into it.
I played with my friend Vicky too.
Shut the fuck up.
Was it the same Vicky? Or is it all
Are both
one
our Vicky's
demon
crap
Vicky?
bags? So I remember like really wanting to be into it and other people not taking it as seriously as I wanted to take it. So I feel like I haven't had like a true Ouija experience.
So I played at my friend Vicky's house all the time.
Okay.
And we did play in big slumber party ways, but also in smaller ways. Like we would just play a lot and have seances a lot. Like we were really into that shit. So we had lots of experiences and we like kind of thought her house was haunted because there was like some weird things that would happen in her house and like in the hallways and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
One time we were talking to someone and they said their name was Barry, which is my stepdad's name. And we asked if they were in heaven or hell, and they said hell. And we said, why are you in hell? And they said, because I killed someone or murdered. I think they said murder. And then we said, who did you murder? And it spelled out Bobby, which is my brother's name.
That's fucking scary.
And I was like,
shit. Goodbye. And then you swan dove down the stairs.
And then other times, and this would happen like sometimes where it was just like, I think I said this before on the podcast, but it was just like we had heard that like if it starts spelling things wrong, it's the devil.
Oh, I do remember you saying that.
So anytime it would start like just spelling fucking weird shit, just like incoherent letters, we'd be like, it's the devil. We'd be like, goodbye, and close it.
I just had a great idea for some BoneCon.
BoneCon. What?
We get a Ouija board and we film us doing it.
Why?
Yes.
Or we do it all together. We could do like a live, like a Twitch thing.
Stop trying to fucking get out of this. No, we can't. It has to just be, I feel like that's inviting too much energy. It needs to be focused energy. Because I feel like that's what didn't work for me. Like everyone has to be on the same page. And if it's like two, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I think our Sammys would be.
Let's do it. Let's totally
giving
do it.
Good energy.
I love it. So yeah, you should watch it.
That was really good and really terrifying.
I know.
Stop!
What is scarier, when I do Red's voice or when I do that?
That.
Yeah. That.
Whispers. 100%.
Pretty scary. Pretty scary.
100%.
I guess in closing,
I'm never going to sleep again. So
Mike Flanagan, can we be in your crap bag can we be in your crap bag of characters, please?
We'd like to be in your crap bag.
Please.
Mike
please
Flanagan.
let us into your crap bag. Let's get out of here.
All right. We love you all.
This has been Kim and Kat Stay Alive. Maybe. So until you swan dive down the stairs, goodbye.
And next week.
Yeah. And next week. Goodbye.
Or Monday.
Or
We do a
Monday. Oh, yeah,
thing.
we'll see you on Monday. See you so soon. Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh, God.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. I'm just gonna hear this whisper
So
in my
good.
ears.